It's October 11th, 2025, just past 11:30 a.m. And OU still
sucks.
Yes, they do. They always have, and they always will. Welcome to the Texas Sports Unfiltered Texas Football pregame show, broadcasting live from the State Fair of Texas. It is the best day of the year. The Red River Shootout, the Texas Longhorns, the Oklahoma Sooners, the second Saturday in October has arrived. And we are here for the next 2 hours getting you set for kickoff of a huge, huge game. Welcome in, everybody, alongside Bucky Godbold and Matt Galatson. I am BK Brad Kellner. Reminder, if you are here at the State Fair of Texas, we've got koozies to give away. We are also raffling off a free pair of Ariat boots. That's right. So come sign up at the table to our right, your left, for your chance to win. We're excited to be here bringing you live boots on the ground coverage from just outside the Cotton Bowl. Again, just 3 hours away from kickoff, Texas and OU. Bucky, I will throw it to you first, my friend. Look, this game always feels like a must win. It's the biggest game on the schedule for both of these teams each and every year. But the Longhorns coming into this Red River Shootout with a couple of losses already. This is about as big as it gets for Texas.
Yeah, there's no tomorrow for the Texas Longhorns except for how they finish the season, because that's the way it'll feel like what they do if they don't win this game today. For Oklahoma, they can afford to lose a game and still go on and play for a championship. So everything looks forward for Oklahoma. For Texas fans, it's the end of the world. But
yeah,
for Oklahoma fans, it's another game, but it's the rivalry game that really means what it really means today. It's almost like it's not about the SEC. It's just between the two states, between the two universities, more so than what's going to happen in the SEC and where you end up playing. Do you make it to the final 12 teams? It's just a game that's more important than SEC play itself.
It just means more?
It just means more today.
Yeah, it almost feels fitting that this is now an SEC game, because Texas OU always means more than the other 11 games on the schedule. And, of course, the SEC slogan, it just means more. Matt, look, both of these teams could be 0-5, and this would still be a huge game because of all of the hatred between both sides of this rivalry. But, again, a lot on the line for the Longhorns. Kind of feels like a must-win game for Texas to save its season.
Yeah, I mean, there's nothing after this. You either beat Oklahoma or your season's basically over. There's still an outside shot that you can make an SEC title if the conference kind of eats itself alive, but you can't count on that. So, I mean, what would Oklahoma fans like more than completely knocking Texas out of the race and ending their season? I don't think that there's many things that they would enjoy more than that. And for Texas, you can play a little bit of spoiler. You can knock Oklahoma out of the top 10. You could, finish or end their unblemished record so far.
Yeah.
It's going to be interesting to watch. And the thing about this game that I love so much is it doesn't matter what the records are. It doesn't matter, how good one team is, how good the other team is. It always gets drunk, and it always is a fun time. So it's the best rivalry in college sports. It's better than Texas A&M. It's better than Oklahoma State. No contest. This is the best rivalry in the country.
Oh, there's nothing like it, right? The field split at the 50-yard line, half the crowd rooting for Texas, half the crowd rooting for Oklahoma. People are cheering and booing on every single play. You don't get that in any other rivalry. You don't get that in any other atmosphere. That's what separates the Red River Shootout from every other game and every other rivalry in the sport. And, of course, the fact that it's at the State Fair and you've got hundreds of thousands of people outside the Cotton Bowl walking around cheering on their teams, that makes things just feel a little bit different. We're talking X factors. We're talking keys to the game. We'll give our score predictions, of course, before we wrap things up. It's interesting, guys. We got to the fair 2.5 hours ago, around 9 a.m. Thank God this is not an 11 a.m. kick. So, like, Texas and Oklahoma fans don't agree on a lot, but I think we all agree that we are grateful that this is not an 11 a.m. kick. We will take the 2:30, a little extra time to sleep in, a little extra time to pregame to get things rolling. But it's interesting. I've been here for 2.5 hours, and I've not heard one single Boomer Sooner chant. It's weird. Like, usually when Oklahoma's confident,
see what you did.
When Oklahoma's confident, they talk a lot of shit. And I've not heard any Oklahoma fan talk any shit today. It's weird. Like, I guess Oklahoma's scared. They're worried about this game. It's weird. They're 5-0. Texas is 3-2. You would think that they'd be really confident. They'd be talking smack, puffing their chest out a little bit. And it's all ho-hum, just quiet. I guess they're a little nervous about today's game, boys.
Well, it sounds like their quarterback will be playing. Maybe they're just that quiet confidence about them today. So it's a little bit different. And there are way too many Sooners that are just walking the fairgrounds instead of being behind tents and guessing weights and figuring out things behind the tents. They're out here like civilians, like enjoying the fair instead of being carnies and working the fair today.
Yeah.
It's very unusual.
It is weird. Not used to seeing that, right? This is how Oklahoma people make their money. The 3 weeks of the state fair.
They leave the state. Yeah, all the Dairy Queens are shut down in Oklahoma.
That's how it always works here.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, man. Zay Collier joining us here at the TSU pregame.
What's cracking, fellas?
What's up, Zay? Happy game day, man.
Hey, happy game day. It's a beautiful day. Ready to get it going.
Ready to get it going, and grateful for that 2:30 kickoff. But obviously the biggest storyline, the health of John Mateer, right? We've seen a couple of injury reports. The first one came out on Wednesday. John Mateer listed as questionable. Thursday night and Friday night, Mateer was listed as probable. So, all signs are pointing to Oklahoma having its starting quarterback back, which feels like a minor miracle considering 17 days ago he had surgery on his throwing thumb. Texas, Steve Sarkisian on Monday said the Longhorns are preparing for both quarterbacks, John Mateer and Michael Hawkins Jr. Zay, I'll throw it to you first. What do you expect to happen today? And how do you feel like this game is impacted by whether or not John Mateer can go?
Yeah, I think it'll be very dumb if John Mateer plays today. I think Oklahoma, they got a lot riding on this game. I mean, the schedule doesn't get any easier. So if the dude is 75%, 70%, you want to risk that in this type of game? I get it. I get the magnitude. You see the pageantry here, State Fair. It's a beautiful sight, but, it's a risky thing to do. He throws it wrong, it gets hit on somebody's helmet, somebody's pads. You get in one of those huddles he likes to run. It's just very risky for him to play. Yeah. So I would respect him if he does, but I think we're going to see Michael Hawkins Jr. today.
Yeah, I would disrespect him if he doesn't. I don't give a rat's ass if he plays. I want him to stay home. I hope he never made the bus today. I don't need to see him.
What's your schedule?
I don't want to see him play. Why do I want to see him play? That's just you're right. Young lady, you're absolutely right. I don't want to see that dude play. I want him to stay home in bed, have some pancakes.
Bring him some
bring him a corny dog,
a turkey leg.
Hell yeah.
He's just hanging out on the sideline eating all day.
I'm not here to see a great game. I'm here to see a Texas win. And if John Mateer's not playing, that helps a little bit more. And it may add to the mystery or whatever it's going to be, but I don't care to see him play. I'll watch him on film.
Yeah, we saw Michael Hawkins Jr. start.
I know what he's like.
Last year for Oklahoma, and he didn't pose much of a challenge to the Texas defense. That was an easy 34-3 win here a season ago.
Buck, you acting like the dude didn't get no better. Like Ben Arbuckle, that don't mean nothing. Michael Hawkins Jr., I get it. He's back up, but still.
He ain't any good. Come on, man. I watched him play last year.
Yeah.
Did he get that much better from last year, what I saw in this game, to now? All of a sudden, he's Joe Montana.
Hey, he led Oklahoma to 3 points last year, all right?
A whole 3 points, yeah.
3 points. That's a big deal for them.
Yeah. No, it'd be great for the kid if he's going to play. I mean, if he's close to playing or being able to play, he's going to be playing. This set aside all the, he's got an NFL future. There's more to play for. This game means too much to both schools for a guy. If he's 70%, he'll play in this football game. We know that. But if he's 50%, no. But if he's 70%, he's going to play in the football game. So I expect to see him out there. Yeah. I expect to see him give his best. But if they happen to twist his thumb up at the coin toss, so be it.
Shake his hand
extra hard.
He's out there.
Go back in there. Give me that Limp Biscuit handshake. Come back and give me another handshake and let me twist his thumb.
Yeah.
If it just happens that way, his hand gets, his thumb gets caught in the door on the way out. I can't help that. It's not my fault.
I'll tell you what, if Brent Venables is smart, he's not going to trot John Mateer out there for the coin toss.
Or keep him on the side.
I don't care that he's one of the captains, and he usually does
he's
it.
He's going to want to stick his hand out there.
I'm not letting anybody touch that hand, especially not on Texas' side.
No.
They know better than that, man.
I mean, everything that I've heard is that John Mateer is going to start, and it's just about how he grips the football. So if that's the case, that's obviously going to be a major boost for Oklahoma. Will he be able to throw the ball downfield with the same velocity, with the same accuracy, if he's wearing that brace, if there's swelling, all those different things? I mean, that's a big question. And I watched Michael Hawkins Jr. last week against Kent State. He's not exactly the most accurate quarterback in the world.
No.
He's not exactly the most technically sound quarterback in the world. So I think that would obviously play into Texas's favor if John Mateer can't go. But even if John Mateer goes, is he going to be 100% John Mateer that we have seen through the first 4 or 5 weeks of the season? I don't think so. He's definitely going to be a step up from Michael Hawkins Jr., but if he's 70%, he's not going to be able to do the things that we are used to seeing him do. I like to call him Johnny Football Jr. because he does a lot of the same things, and he runs around really well. He makes a lot of off-platform throws, a lot of crazy plays, but can he do those things if he's laboring with that thumb and not being able to grip the football? I don't know.
That's a big question, right? If John Mateer plays, that's one thing, but obviously how effective can he be? I mean, we're talking about a guy who was the Heisman favorite through the first month of the season, and the biggest reason why Oklahoma was off to that 4-0 start. And yeah, I mean, we know what he's capable of with his arm, with his legs, but when the surgery happened, 42-41 OU, is that a prediction? 42-21. Yeah. Yeah, no, Oklahoma.
That's an awful lot of points.
Oklahoma scored 24 against Auburn and Michigan. So against the two power conference teams they play, they haven't gotten anywhere close to 40 either. So all right, you'll be back. We won't be here after the game, but come by and see us. That'd be great. Defensive. Okay.
Well, they need to score 3 or 4. The defense needs to score 4.
This is the most Oklahoma guy I've ever seen. Came straight from his trailer park to come to the game today. We appreciate you stopping by our pregame show. No electricity, no running water there.
That's all right.
That guy's hanging out in the porta pots over here just for fun, because that's a step up from where he actually lives. So that's good. That's good. So no, all right. Appreciate you stopping by. So we'll see how the question is, can Oklahoma run the offense that they were running in the first month of the year? And something that obviously has worked for Oklahoma. We saw it at Vanderbilt, right? Vanderbilt gets Diego Pavia from the transfer portal. They also bring in his offensive coordinator, so he doesn't have to learn a new system. It's a huge part of why Vandy looks like a real football team for the last couple of seasons. That's obviously worked for John Mateer. But, Buck, the question is, again, what version of John Mateer plays today? Assuming he does at least try to give it a go, does Oklahoma have to change up its offense and say, well, it can't really grip the football, so we're not going to have him throw a whole lot? Or we're so worried about him taking off and running and taking hits, we're not going to run a whole lot. Like, what type of changes could we see from their offense?
Well, I think they do everything they've always done with him when he's in the game. Like I said, if the adrenaline will only take you so far in this football game until you hit your thumb on somebody's helmet or against their shoulder. Yep. It's going to be, ouch. How am I going to fall down? How do I protect myself from falling down when I go to the ground? Do I stick my hand out there? Do I stick my left hand out there? There are a lot of things involved for a quarterback to be thinking, as it is in the football game. But a quarterback with an injury like that, to have to think extra careful of how he lands, who's around him. I mean, what happens to him? I think that puts a lot of pressure on him. But I would rather have him than not have him. It doesn't matter if the kid says I'm ready to go, then that's going to be good enough for the coaches. I know we all, every coach says I'm going to just listen to what the doctor says. Right. That same coach is in the training room looking at the doctor going, I need this guy. This guy has to play. But whatever you say, Doc, we're going to go by that. But you know how much I need this guy? Yeah. And how long have you been a doctor at this university? Would you like to keep this job? I mean, those things those are pressures that the doctor has to have. Those are pressures that the player himself will be under today. Right. But I take that kid on my team at 70%. Just the fear factor itself of him stepping onto the field is enough.
We kind of saw that on Thursday Night Football when Jackson Dart got hurt for the Giants. He was in the medical tent for one play. Brian Daboll ran in there. He's telling the trainer, get him back out there. Yeah, we need him out there. I don't care. Concussion protocol, hand injury.
Yeah, that's Daboll's job. He had to. He had no choice.
It doesn't matter. We need him out there. So, yeah, Brent, I can tell you Oklahoma fans aren't saying that, we're 5-0. We can lose this game today.
No, they don't think.
Still make it to the SEC title. Still make it to the college football playoff. No, they're thinking this is Texas. This is a game we have to win. We don't want to lose our third out of 4 years to this Texas team. We got to play John Mateer. If he's anywhere close to cleared, we're clearing him, and he's going to be out there.
Yeah, and of course for the head coach, he's thinking the same too. I used to have a hot seat. That thing could get hot in a hurry.
Yeah.
And so I need to get my star back on the field. And just as I said, a fear factor alone from that kid being on the field for a Texas defense that struggled last week. Now we don't expect to see that again, but to see him on the field means an awful lot to Oklahoma. And he's not looking at his future about what's going to happen, a week from now, 2 weeks from now. He's looking at the game that's today. And I mean, that's what all the players, this is a players game. This has always been a rivalry game that if you're banged up, you're hurt, you find a way to get in this game. I mean, you limp into this game if you have to.
Right. And John Mateer is a local kid. I mean, he grew up at Little Elm, right outside the Metroplex. So, yeah, it's his first Texas OU game. He transferred in from Washington
He doesn't
State.
want to be missing this game.
He realizes the importance of this game and how much it means to so many people. He doesn't want to miss his opportunity to play in his first Texas OU game.
Yeah, he's got to have drinks for life. What's wrong? He's got to play in this game. You don't miss out on an opportunity like this.
Legacy game.
Drinks for life.
Drinks for life.
It'd be different if Oklahoma had some type of run game where they could rely on something else besides John Mateer. They can't do that.
Yeah.
At least they haven't shown that in the first 5 games of the year. John Mateer does everything for them. So Blaylock coming in as a freshman, he struggled, especially with this Oklahoma offensive line. Ott hasn't been what they thought he was going to be coming over from Cal. So, Brent Venables, I bet he would love to just say, you know what, let's just hand the ball off and then ground and pound the whole entire game. He doesn't have that luxury because John Mateer has so much responsibility in that offense.
Yeah. Well, Bucky brought it up, man. I'm going to throw this to you. Let's talk about the Texas defense, right? I mean, the Longhorns coming off of their worst defensive performance of the season by far. Florida went for more than 450 yards of total offense, scored 27 points, 29 with the punt block safety. But it was less than stellar and an unusual showing from Pete Kwiatkowski's defense. I think it was Texas's worst defensive performance in a couple of years. What's your confidence level that the Longhorn defense can put what happened in the swamp behind them and bounce back with a strong performance?
Well, they don't have a real choice. I mean, they had a week off, and during the course of that week off, they didn't practice because it never looked like they practiced whatsoever when they went into the Florida game. They prepared themselves as if they were going to play the ghost of Sam Houston again. They didn't prepare like they were going to play a Florida team that's in the SEC. May not be a good Florida team, but it has some talent on the team. They didn't prepare like they were playing for a talented team. They prepared like they prepared for the other 3 games before that, and they thought what they did is good enough to beat them. I guarantee there was some puckering up of some rectal areas this week on that football team because those coaches had to be all over them all week long for that performance. And the coaches likewise looked at themselves and say, what do we do? How do we let what's really strong for us, our defense, get to looking like that in the course of a week? And
Yeah, it definitely was a flow of the game. The game last week did not go the way we had intended. Jarek is our short yardage back, and we didn't have any short.
There's Sark jumping in.
Yeah, there's Sark jumping in. There's absolutely no excuse to come out after a performance like he had last week and do the same thing. I think that, and Sark said on Monday, we're talking about, Sark jumping into the conversation. He said on Monday they had a come to Jesus meeting, and I think a lot of that was probably with the defense. Like, you guys can't get pushed around by this Florida offensive line that just got bullied by Miami.
Oh, hell yeah, we're expecting our offense to get pushed around like we've been getting pushed around.
But we know what that defense is capable of. They went into the shoe at Ohio State, and they played really, really well. I mean, they were a crazy catch from Carnell Tate and a few penalties on the other drive away from shutting out that football team. And I know that you can't say that they were going to shut them out because they didn't. But they showed what they could do against a big-time opponent in a big-time atmosphere. And I think that they take what happened last week, they learn from it. They sure as hell tackle a lot better this week. I think that last week against Florida, I felt like they sat back too much. They didn't get after the passer, even though DJ Lagway was on one leg. And John Mateer is going to be, if he actually is the starter, he's going to be injured. You got to go after this guy. I'm not saying try to hurt him again, but you got to get after him because he's going to be a little bit more jumpy, I think, trying to protect that thumb than he would be normally. So tackle better, get after the quarterback, be aggressive, and don't just sit back in his zone and let him pick you up.
Do what you've been doing. I mean, play the game you've been playing for the last 2 years, not what we saw last week. That was on everybody. I think, as you said, I think everybody came to a conclusion that we all didn't play well and we all didn't coach well. Yeah. And it just happened that way. And I wouldn't expect to see that in this game, no matter what was on the line.
No doubt. Chris Phillips from SEC Unfiltered has joined the Texas Sports
Nice.
Unfiltered
Hey, Buck.
pregame
What's up,
show.
buddy?
See you in person, brother.
There
What's
you
going on,
go.
man? Good to meet you, man.
Chris?
He is a big dude.
Big
up?
dude.
He's a big
Yeah,
dude.
he's a former
What's up?
college baseball player,
Yeah,
man.
man.
God,
You don't mess around. He's
how
wearing,
they grow.
I don't know
there.
that Schloss would have recruited me, but it's fine. I wouldn't have recruited me either, probably.
oh, that's original. That is,
Yeah.
that's new. I've never seen that before. That's good. A horns down. That guy's creative. Also wearing blue. Who's he rooting
Bucky,
for?
what did you tell me Sooner Magic was again? You want to share with the class?
No,
It's Sooner Magic.
Sooner Magic is the fact that it's
Let's go.
just very hard to believe that all these people are not working under tents and guessing weights. Why are they walking the fairgrounds? This is not right. We gave you an opportunity to leave the state of Oklahoma, come and make some of this good Texas money. and you're just hanging around out here. I know you're spending some of the money, but my goodness, I need to see the bearded lady, and I need you guys guessing weights and stuff like that. Everybody's here to have a good time. This damn John Mateer's got you guys believing.
Oh man, Chris is wearing yellow today.
Yeah, I'm very neutral.
There you go. Good, smart
Yeah.
move.
This is your first ever
Red River.
Red River Shootout.
First time ever.
Thoughts on the atmosphere so far? Still 2.5 hours away from kickoff, by the way.
A lot different than Florida, Georgia, for sure. Yeah, it's 101. It's awesome. Yeah, it's to have a football game in the midst of all this. Obviously, two of the most historic programs in college football, and when it culminating, I can't wait to see. And I was telling our guy Cole, who's in town with me today, and been all weekend. A lot of these trips I go on, I'm excited. Sometimes I'm more excited for the game than the city or the atmosphere. Other times I'm more excited for that than the actual game itself. This one is all the above, but I can't wait to see the atmosphere inside.
It's pretty cool out
I've
here.
heard so much about it.
Yeah,
it's awesome out here, all the trash talk, everything, but getting in there and seeing the split, and we're doing it right. So for those wondering, I am sitting on the Texas side.
There we go.
Our guy Cole is sitting on the Oklahoma side. So we're going to get both of the perspectives. And obviously, we'll see what the winning side is.
Well,
but
they call him Communist Cole for.
Yeah, there you go.
Of course, he's sitting on the Oklahoma side.
Somebody's got to be our scapegoat, right?
Absolutely.
No, listen. I mean, but here's the thing. Me and Texas fans right now, we got a little bit of a beef because they think I'm to blame for the loss.
Yes.
Yeah, you
I
were.
was
when you show up.
I was in Columbus.
Yep.
I was at the swamp. It's like Arch Manning sees me and he just pisses down his leg. I don't know what's going on, man.
OU
I don't know
fans.
what's going on?
OU fans love you then.
I don't.
Maybe
I'm
Cole should switch seats.
Maybe.
Yeah.
I'm 1-0 watching the Sooners. We were at that Michigan game.
There you go.
I
There you
don't know,
go.
man. I mean,
Well, Chris, some keys to the game for you today. You've watched both of these teams closely all season long. The research you've done, what you've studied about this game and about these two teams. What do you think will make the difference in who wins and who loses?
well, you know what's interesting about this game? So I've been told by so many, throw all logic out the window. This is a game that expect the unexpected. Anything can happen. But, yeah, I mean, based off what we've seen to this point, you got to find a way to get Arch comfortable. I don't know whether that's through extended handoffs, a short passing game, obviously finding a way to run the football. The offensive front they have to play better. I mean, it's just bottom line. There's really no secret sauce there. You can't get whipped physically for 60 minutes up front and expect to have a chance in that game. That's what Florida did. You and I were talking about this last night. I mean, it was consecutive plays. You had sack, incompletion. Like, he was just – and at no point when I've seen him, he's been able to get into any sort of groove. And it looks like the game is really, 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 really fast. And obviously, again, when you're playing from behind the sticks and you're kind of on an island doing it by yourself, that's how it's going to feel, right? I mean, I think offensively, you're expecting a rock fight today on both sides of the football. You're expecting this to be a defensive slugfest. You got two of the best defenses in college football. You got two offenses that, even with John Mateer, as good as he is, and he is electric, their offense has been all right. It hasn't been like the most explosive in the country. Like, they've had to get really creative in the run game because he is their run game. I was talking to somebody earlier, and it's funny. All it took was Michael Hawkins playing 4 quarters at Kent State. Everybody say, "Hey, all right, John, get it back. Come on. I need you to hurry up."
Oh, they were hyping up Michael Hawkins.
There wasn't a whole lot of Hawkins
game.
chatter after the Kent State game. So
now Dr. Stephen Shin is a legend up there.
Shin is the real MVP if they get the dub today. But, yeah, offensively, find a way to get into a rhythm. You're going to have to probably sustain long drives. I say that, though, too. I think teams that can score from far today are going to have a lot of success. You're probably going to have to hit some explosives. It's going to be hard against both these defenses to sustain a 10, 12, 14-play drive. And I agree with what Bucky said. I mean, defensively, let's not reinvent the wheel, guys. This is still, one of the most talented, I think one of the best defensive groups in the country. So I don't know that there needs to be this whole, reinvention. Let's, go back to the drawing board and kind of start over. I mean, I think you've got a pretty good foundation of what to do. I mean, obviously, John Mateer's in there. You got to be able to stop the quarterback run game and limit him, make him beat you through the air, get him in some uncomfortable situations. I mean, I just think this is a point of attack game. This is a line of scrimmage game, bottom line. I think it's going to be lower scoring. Again, I've been told to expect the unexpected. So I fully am expecting a rock fight for 60 minutes. Thank you, Bear.
Cold beer?
Nice.
Cold beer.
Ready to
Cold
go.
beer. I'm expecting a physical battle.
Only 8 coupons for that cold beer.
Coupons.
Yeah, they got their own. They got their own currency in the State Fair of Texas. I'm not sure if you're aware of that. I don't know how they get away with this still. Well, Buck, what's your confidence level? I mean, I think Chris is right. This is a game that is won and lost in the trenches. And Texas last weekend at Florida got whipped on both lines of scrimmage. So what's your confidence over the last 7 days? Texas has been able to figure some things out, clean some things up, and we'll see a much better group up front.
Well, sustained drives, I don't have any confidence in. I don't think we're going to see 10, 12 play drives. I think what Chris said is there are going to be some explosives that if somebody falls down and somebody makes a mistake, they're going to get beat in the secondary, and you're going to have some explosive plays that way. I don't see the most explosive run I'm going to see is probably from Arch Manning or John Mateer. I don't expect any of their running backs to have an explosive run in the game. Oklahoma hasn't had any. Texas hasn't had any. And the ones that do have them, what we call explosive runs, are the two quarterbacks. They're the best runners on the team, which is really strange, in all these years of watching, these two games and being a part of Texas, Oklahoma. There's always a running back on one of the teams that's outstanding. They don't have anybody that's outstanding, either team. They're all still kind of searching, and there's nothing to search from. You can't all of a sudden just go pick up running backs out of nowhere. I don't expect to see an explosive play from a running back today. So the coach will have to make it happen. The wide receivers will have to make it happen, and including the defensive players. And Oklahoma's got a lot of defensive players that can make some things happen for them. Yeah. Sack the quarterback, scoop and score, those type of plays. But I don't expect to see a 60-yard run by anybody unless it's one of the two quarterbacks.
Yeah.
You guys might be more familiar with the stat than I, but I don't know if it was you, BK, or somebody else told me first-time starters in this game fare really, really poorly at the quarterback position. Even if Mateer plays, but we got both of them. So how do the emotions of the game factor in? We can talk X's and O's and everything, but it's still 19, 20, 21-year-old kids that are playing in, to this point, probably the biggest game of their lives. So, how does the emotion factor in for both these guys keeping their cool, calm, cool, collected when they're going to be asked at some point, you're going to have to go out and win this football game? Yeah.
Well, Bucky, you know it better than any of us.
I think when you have a number of guys that have experience in this football game, you can go a little bit longer. As I said, that the momentum that you have of that first couple series, you start to get tired out because you're so excited about playing in this game. You get into the second quarter, you start to get tired and start to go, damn, all this juice is starting to wear off right now. So guys who have been exposed to this before, who have some experience in this game, tend to be around a little bit longer. The young guys can make some explosive plays early, hopefully, and then they can get back to just playing football. But it's the experienced guys that go to long distance. And there's not a lot of experience on both teams. You look around and not a bunch of seniors that are having a lot of success on the football field. And I know for Texas, offensively, there's not a lot of success from the quarterback position to the offensive line position right now. We're still waiting on wide receivers. I mean, we're at the damn middle of the season. We're still waiting. Who's this guy? Who's that guy? Who's this guy? Who's that guy?
Yeah.
So, as I said, get those big plays in there early. And the guys with experience will be around later on. I mean, you got to be experienced in this game. And Chris, a lot of times this is you're either a hero in this game or you can become a real GOAT in this game too.
Not the greatest of all time.
No, not the greatest of all time.
Escape the GOAT.
Yeah. Yeah. You can get remembered in this game in a lot of different ways. For John Mateer, he's never been in this situation before. He's got to be excited about playing. Arch Manning should be as excited about playing in this game as any other game it's for him. And now it looks like every single game is something special for him, but particularly this game right here, he can really change a lot of what people think about him today.
A lot of sins can be forgiven.
Yes,
to go win a game
absolutely.
Like this.
No doubt about it. No doubt about it. And here's my hope, Matt. This is something we were talking about yesterday at Harwood Tavern. Texas has played in two hostile environments so far this season. Now, they're 0-2 in those games, but they experienced what the shoe was like. They experienced what the swamp was like. This type of atmosphere, I know it's different than anything else, but hopefully it doesn't faze them that much. For Oklahoma, they've got a good number of guys who played in this game last year. Oklahoma's played one road game this year, and it was at Temple, and the Sooners had more fans than the Owls did there. So maybe Texas is better equipped. Probably wishful thinking. You see the shirt that I'm wearing, but maybe Texas can use its experiences, even in a couple of losses, and playing in some hostile crowds to benefit them early on today.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, I think when you face a crowd like the one you face in the shoe and the one you face in the swamp, it's going to give you some confidence heading into an environment that at least you got half the stadium, right? And I don't know, what kind of atmospheres John Mateer played in the Pac-12, which was two teams last year. And, with Washington State, he hasn't really faced that kind of environment yet. So how is he going to react? How is, that young offensive line that they have? Because let's be honest, they don't have a world beater offensive line. It's not an offensive line that is that much better than Texas. As a matter of fact, I believe Texas's offensive line is ranked higher in terms of PFF scores than the Oklahoma offensive line. So I think it's a lot closer in that aspect than a lot of people want to admit. And I think that these teams are a lot more similar than a lot of people want to admit offensively. Neither of them can run the football. Both of them have interior offensive line issues. Both of them have right tackle issues. Both of them have receivers that haven't performed to the level that we have expected them so far. And John Mateer and Arch Manning's stats are pretty damn similar. So I think all of those things go into it. And I think when you do have those games on the road, they kind of toughen you up. And we saw something change in Arch Manning against Florida where, he didn't have a perfect game. He made some mistakes, but he was hanging in there tough. And it didn't seem like the crowd really affected him. What was affecting him was that he got pressured 35 times on 42 dropbacks and got hit 8 times and got sacked 6 times. But he that didn't affect him in terms of his toughness and his want to throw the football downfield and make big plays. And I think that he's going to be able to do that here today, too.
Well, here's, you talk about the atmosphere and you talk about trying to get the crowd on your side. This is such a momentum game. Oklahoma has trailed for less than 3 minutes this season. They're 5-0, but they have been dominating teams and they've been playing with the lead pretty much in every game that they've played so far. So, if you're able to throw the first punch, you put Oklahoma in a spot that they haven't been in so far before. And you're talking about a banged up quarterback who may be having trouble gripping the football today. You're able to play with the lead and turn Oklahoma's offense a little more one-dimensional. Goes without saying that's advantage Texas.
Yeah, absolutely. I think that the blueprint for Texas to win this football game is to throw the first punch and to get on top early and make Oklahoma be like, oh, shit, what are we going to do here? Is John Mateer going to be able to get us back into this football game with his arm? Yeah. They almost had that opportunity last week. Chip said it on the show yesterday that we were doing from Harwood Tavern. That looked like a Florida team that came onto the field. And if they had gotten hit in the mouth early, they would have folded.
Right.
And Texas missed that opportunity with the forced fumble and Michael Tapp overrunning the ball and, getting that early turnover. And maybe they have that opportunity this week. And if they get that opportunity and they get some momentum early and they finally get off to a fast start, that's how they're going to be able to hang around in this football game.
Yeah, Steve Sarkisian's only lost 1 game in his Texas career where his team has scored first. It's a crazy stat. He's in year 5. And if Texas is able to get off to that fast start, look, most coaches, if their team starts hot and they score first, they've got a good record. But the fact that Steve Sarkisian has done that to this point in his Texas career just shows the importance of the Longhorns starting early. They couldn't do it in the shoe. They couldn't do it in the swamp. They ended up losing both of those games.
Maybe a silly question, BK. When was the last time Texas lost back-to-back regular season games?
Last time Texas lost back-to-back regular season games would have been,
I would assume 2021 when they were 5-7.
And they had that six-game losing
Right.
streak.
Yeah, been a while. All the double-digit blown leads that they had that year. It's got to be somewhere in there. I would imagine.
I'll tell you this about Mateer. Again, he's electric, and I think he's going to play. We talked to an Oklahoma buddy of ours on the way over here that knows a guy who knows a guy. I think John Mateer's playing today. I did not think he was probably going to go, but it sounds like he will. But he's going to play.
There you go.
Getting to watch him in person against Michigan, it's been obviously a little bit since then. He's an electric player, but I think he is a guy. He's going to give your defense opportunities to get the football. Like he will put it in harm's way. He's a little erratic, like some of these other guys in the conference. So
bit of a gunslinger.
He is. I mean, that's how he plays, and it's when it works, it's great.
Sure.
But when it doesn't, it could turn a game like this on its head really quickly. So I'm curious to see, can John Mateer play his style, play loose, go make big plays, but also be smart, take care of the football, and not put his team in a bad position. Because it's a very fine line with his game, I feel like.
Turnovers always big in this game, Buck. But, this Texas offense, we're going to spend a lot of time during today's show talking about some struggles the Longhorns have had. If your defense is able to force John Mateer into a couple of those mistakes and give your own offense some short fields, it goes without saying. Like you've talked about it, you're a little concerned with Texas's ability to sustain drives. A lot easier to try to sustain a 30 to 40-yard drive than a 70 to 80-yard drive.
Yeah, your defense got to put you in a good situation. You got to make, Mateer has to worry about as he's in the pocket. He has to worry when he leaves the pocket. He has to worry about getting hit before he hits the ground. I mean, is he going to bone up to guys like I've seen him do before where he lowers his shoulder and tries to get the extra yard? I mean, like I said, the adrenaline is a big deal in this game.
Yeah.
And as I said, and it works for a while. But after a while, it just seems it'll wear off a little bit. So, I mean, I expect him to do everything that he does normally when he plays in the game.
Yeah.
And as Chris said, then let him throw the ball, let him make the kind of mistakes that a young quarterback in this football game for the first time can make. Get that out of the way early because we need it early. This Texas Longhorn team, they need that early too in the game.
Yeah.
They need to get off to a fast start. It's a team that I don't think the head coach knows the players very well. He pretends he knows them. I know everything about him. Arch Manning, it didn't just show up on campus this week. I mean, he's been there for 3 years,
right?
and the coach doesn't know if he needs to pound his head against the stadium before the game so he gets a hit in, or what does he know about him? It doesn't look like he knows him very well right now.
Yeah, that's obviously a big key, the play of Arch Manning today, as Jay Smith from Locked On Sooners joins us here at the table. And we're equal opportunity here.
I love it.
We're
I
going
love
to
it.
represent both sides on this pregame.
Are we
show.
really going to represent both sides? Though?
No, not really.
We're
gonna try.
We're gonna talk shit to you the entire time.
I'm here
Show,
for it.
But
Here for it. That's what we're here for.
well, what's your confidence level, first of all, Jay, that John Mateer is going to go, and then number two, what type of John Mateer do you expect to see if he is on the field?
I'm at about a 95% that John Mateer is definitely going to hit the field.
Okay.
You can tell. I put it this way: everybody heard the story of the tortilla presser, right? All right. For the uninitiated, this is what happened. A guy was in line at Chipotle, and he said the tortilla presser in front of him saw John Mateer behind him and said, "Hey, John, how's your hand?" He said, "I'm good. I'm playing in the Texas game." That showed up in a Texas A&M message board.
Yeah,
That's what made it funny.
Tex
and so exactly,
Yeah.
Texags. And so everybody's like, okay, message board material, that don't mean anything, right? All right, what? But the plot thickened. Underneath that post, someone posted a selfie of the tortilla presser with John Mateer and said, "Hey, that is my son. He goes to OU, and I'm an Aggie alum, but my son's at OU. And yes, he did talk to John Mateer, and yes, John Mateer did tell him that. So
it's official.
It's official,
Who
man.
needs an injury
I
report
believe
to
the tortilla
Chipotle?
presser over anybody else.
Yeah.
Why would he lie to me?
Right.
Right? He's filling my bowl up. He's providing me with the good meats. Why would I feel like he would lie to me
He wasn't skipping on the chicken this
at
time?
all?
Okay.
Actually, double meat and didn't
There
even
it
charge
is.
for it, baby.
That's
That's what I'm
huge.
talking about. So
They'll never trust tortilla pressers
No.
again. It's the state of Oklahoma if he doesn't play.
exactly,
Oh.
he probably is going to be
You
exiled.
all are wrong.
Every
You all are-
Chipotle is going to shut down.
Yeah,
if John
exactly.
Mateer
Chipotle
doesn't play
stock.
today.
Businesses
Hey,
are done.
The board at Chipotle is like, dear God, I hope John Mateer plays. I hope he was right.
So talk
I'm pretty
about
confident.
talk about John Mateer. Like, what version of John Mateer do we get, and what about him makes him so great? I mean, Oklahoma had a great defense last year.
Yeah.
They were 6-7. They were a no-show in this game. Obviously, the Sooners now 5-0, ranked number 6 in the country. The defense is still elite, but John Mateer, like, what has made him such a difference maker for the Oklahoma offense?
Well, one thing, he's very aggressive and dynamic. Like, you've seen John Mateer play. A lot of people in the nation who didn't stay up. See, I'm an addicted to college football, right? That's my narcotic of choice. So I'm always up late. I will watch Pac-12 after dark. So at 2:00 in the morning, I'm watching football. And guess who I'm watching? John Mateer out there cooking. So it's funny because Matt asked the question, what's the toughest environment that John Mateer played in? Well, he played in the Apple Cup against Washington, in Washington.
Sure.
Right? And he went out there, basically carried the team to the victory. Now, it wasn't a high-scoring game. And the way that our Buckle system is set up is they're the only two that knows the whole thing. They know the whole playbook, which I think is an advantage for Oklahoma. It's because he knows that. So my expectation in this game is if John Mateer feels like he's got to play in this game, in which, remember, he's from Little Elm. Nobody here recruited him. He had one D1 offer. He said, I'm coming to Oklahoma to play in this game. And so I think we get about a 95% version of him. I do think that he's healthy enough to not only squeeze the ball, but throw it. It's going to be really about pain tolerance.
Yeah.
And, of course, the Texas defense is going to be really all over him, trying to make sure he uses that hand in ways that he don't want to use it.
Oh.
I just hope he doesn't throw a stiff arm. If he throws a stiff arm, I'm a little concerned. But outside of that, I think that we're going to get a dynamic version of him from that we've seen like in the Michigan game. I can see him doing game-winning drives, pushing down the line. The one thing this Oklahoma line has been great at is fourth quarter, they lock in. They seem to get a push then. Like, as you mentioned, we can't run the ball.
No.
Texas can't either.
No.
Right? But it seemed like in that Michigan game at the end and that Auburn game at the end, we figured out a run game. It's the weirdest and the damnedest thing I've ever seen. But it appears that we do start slow. But I think as the game progresses, we get stronger and stronger. And that line starts to move furniture, man. We do have a highly rated pass blocking team.
Lawn
which is
furniture.
perfect.
Lawn furniture.
Moving on.
No.
They're not moving bedroom
No,
sets.
we moving bedroom
No,
sets. We're
no,
moving
no.
king,
Patio,
California
just the
king.
patio stuff.
Lawn chairs.
That's it.
Lawn chairs.
No,
Oh,
baby, we're
man.
moving love seats as well as sectionals.
Yeah.
But no, I think that's going to be the thing that's going to help Oklahoma to be able to even propel in this game is because they're going to be able to give John Mateer time to at least throw the ball. And that's the thing we didn't have last year. We came into last year in 2024. This is the funny thing. We came into that year's game similar to what y'all are coming into it this year. A bunch of new players on the line trying to get themselves jailed, guys playing in positions they didn't start at. So you have a center that used to play guard. You got a guard that used to play tackle, and these are their first time trying to get acclimated to these roles.
Yep.
That leads to some struggle to start off with. Oklahoma had the same problem. We had 4 centers play in 3 games. That's how injured that line was last year. And that's in the first 3 games.
Right.
And it just continued to get worse. And so as we're seeing this game come up for Oklahoma, our line is actually healthy for a change. And this is the line that's been playing the entire season.
Chris, what about some of the skill talent on Oklahoma? I'll ask you about some of the receivers. We talked about the run game. They haven't gotten a whole lot from Jaden Ott yet. The Cal transfer, coming off his best game of the year against Kent State, where he ran for 40-something yards. I had so many OU people tell me Jaden Ott just blew up against Kent State. He looked so good. I looked at the box score; it was like 11 carries for 49 yards. I'm like, wow, he's been that bad that's a good game for him. But OU's got some difference makers on the outside. It's a pretty good wide receiving core too.
Yeah, and Jay's obviously going to know a lot more than I. But I mean, it starts with guys like Deion Burks and Isaiah Satania and Love Kanak at the tight end position. Even if Jaden Ott, I don't really know what the status is. If he's, how much he'll play today, how much he'll see it. But Torrey Blaylock's been really good for them running the football. And I do agree, by the way, with you, Jay. I was at that game against Michigan. And the thing that impressed me most about that game was there's a difference between wanting to run it and needing to run it and when you have to run it. And when Oklahoma was able to ice that game away, they were able to do it. They were able to put together a long drive, a game-winning drive, and they weren't even capable of that last year. So at minimum, at least, like I said, something clicked. Why it's not clicking all game, I mean, they've still got questions on the O-line, but at least they have the ability to do that. So, you got some skill position guys on the outside. Like I said, Jay would know more than I would, but I'll say this, and I'm going to pass it off to Bear. I want Bear to get his chance to talk to you guys. It's pretty well documented coming into this week. I picked Oklahoma to win this game, 16-13. I'm sticking with that, right?
Yeah,
I'm sticking with that.
Yeah, you're
but
about
what
to
I
have
will
to
say
give
is
up your
this.
headset,
But what I will say is this.
Yep.
In my head, there's just college football is weird, right? It's so unpredictable. It makes no sense. This game makes no sense. Doesn't it feel like Texas is down and out? They just look like crap in the swamp. We got people writing articles about Arch Manning, calling him like the biggest bust in college football history.
Stupid.
He's terrible.
Yep.
It's like you and I were talking last night, BK. Texas is favored by 1.5.
Yep. Those casinos don't build themselves.
So the back of my head, I'm like, I'm not changing my pick, but I'm like, would I be totally shocked if like the stars aligned and Arch went through for 304 touchdowns and he just reminds everyone like why he was the guy who he is.
Yeah.
Like, would it shock me? Not necessarily.
Yeah. Nothing about this game.
I'm
should shock
fully
you.
going into this game, no clue. No clue. And that's the best way to be. I'm glad this is my first Red River experience and not last year, as I've told you many times, because that was just ugly from the jump. So this one's been over a year in the making for us, and really happy to be here, man. I'm expecting a thriller. That's all I pull for every week, and it's gonna be a good one, man. So we'll see. This is for lack of a better way of putting it, it's time to nut up your Texas. Time to nut up.
This is it.
This is no more excuses. Your playoff dreams are probably still dashed. You might as well forget it. But you can still win this game.
Right.
You can still win this game.
Absolutely.
So even if Oklahoma goes to the playoff, you can play spoiler a little bit. Say, hey, we've got we've got that on you. So
like in 2023, right? It's basically the same thing you'd see between for Texas for Oklahoma.
Brisket and bruised stuffed pretzels. The Hans brisket and bruised stuffed pretzels.
Gotta love the
my
fair,
pops
man.
has come through with
some
state fair food for us.
Look at that.
Actually had these yesterday.
Fantastic.
Really?
Yeah. Had to
It looks heavenly.
had to get to the fair day early, not to deal with all this crowd.
Smart,
all you
man.
weird Oklahoma people.
Wow, the weirdness of Oklahoma.
Smell
people,
weird, missing teeth. I don't want to deal with you carnies out here.
I totally understand, man.
So I had some of these yesterday. Not too bad, huh? Soft pretzel, brisket,
I'm gonna
beer
try one in a
cheese.
second.
Get you a
But
bite of
I
that.
kind of want to add to what Chris was saying over there on the skill spot. I think the biggest beneficiary of having a player like Deion Burks that everyone talks about has been Isaiah Satania.
Yeah.
Like the focal point has been Burks. Don't let Burks burn you over the top because John Mateer likes to throw. He'll launch it. And so you're seeing Satania be that guy that has picked up basically all the non-attention. He's basically been in the corner like, hey, don't forget about me. I was pretty dynamic at Arkansas, even though our offense was pretty, Taylor Green was solid. I was good. You should look at they weren't. And then Jaron Cannon coming in as a converted linebacker is one of the best tight ends in the country so far statistically.
Yep.
That's still – if I would have told you that a year ago, y'all would have laughed at me. Everybody laughed at me when I said that. He's actually a dynamic athlete. When they moved him over when he came to the coaching staff in January and said, hey, I want to move to tight end. Everybody laughed. And then look at him now, making crazy one-handed catches, trying to run people over. It feels good. The dude ran a 10.37 in high school in the 100. Mm-hmm. He holds records in the state of Kansas for running. The dude but now he's added 20 pounds.
Right.
But he is dynamic. So skills-wise, Satania's going to be interesting. The Jaden Ott mystery is a very fascinating one, right? So when he came here, he talked about how when he was at Cal, he had an ankle injury that entire season. And so it kind of hindered his stats. It made him struggle. And he played on it. And he was like, yeah, hindsight tells me I should have sat. I should have waited. Well, he went up against this Oklahoma defense and hurt his shoulder. I think he kind of felt a little nervous about that exact same feeling of, if I go out there with this hurt shoulder, will I mess it up again? Because I played on an injured ankle and it hurt me. It hurt my draft status. It hurt everything. Will this shoulder do the same thing when I'm going against the SEC? Bigger dudes, stronger dudes, faster dudes, more dynamic dudes. I mean, I played Auburn, so I understand the size of players that's going to show up. So I think he was in his own head. And so they finally got him down, sat him down, come to Jesus moment. Hey, man, look, you feeling 100%, you probably are. Get out your head, run the ball. And so I agree with some Sooner fans when they saw him in Kansas State. They're like, okay, you do have burst. You actually can run. You physically can hold a football. Let's go. Let's see you now give us what we paid for.
Right.
Show us the real deal, Holyfield.
That's what it is.
And so now that's kind of where we're at, is hoping I get something. But the true freshman, Torrey Blaylock's been that guy. He's been pretty solid. Yeah. Like I said, the run game hasn't been great, but probably the shining star has been Torrey Blaylock as a true freshman, finding a hole and making it happen.
All right, Jay, last one for you before we let you go inside the Cotton Bowl. Tell us about this Oklahoma defense a little bit. You know, I knew they'd be good, but without the T-shirt model, Danny Stutzman, as we like to call him, Buck, I was thinking, OU lost a couple of key figures from last year's squad, and I was wondering if they could be as good as they were in 2024. Turns out they're even better through the first 5 games this year.
I get a little emotional when I talk about this defense. I'm not going to lie, because this is the thing that Brent Venables said he was going to bring. So for the uninitiated, I've told Oklahoma fans, and those that know me know that I've said this numerous times, this is the thing that sold me on Brent Venables. The defense was getting better year over year.
Yeah.
If the defense was bad, I wanted him fired. Because this is what you're here for, dog. You are a defensive guy. You're supposedly a defensive guru. Show me that. We're right now, and I'm going to be honest, like I said, the defense is better this year. The numbers show it. We're about as good, if not better, than that Clemson defense he had when they were winning national championships. Not saying Oklahoma will win them yet. I've got to see the offense give us some complimentary ball, like a Trevor Lawrence type setup, or even a Deshaun Watson. But the defense is on. The defense is at that point, right? Not really a good dude. But the defense has done its part.
Right.
Now we've got an offensive coordinator in Ben Arbuckle who should be able to dial some stuff up. But the thing that's most important is we realize that if you want to be successful in this conference, trenches is critical, especially the interior, because the SEC is a conference that's built on dudes running the ball, running the clock, and then, you may find a dynamic passer here or there.
Sure.
But that doesn't always win you games. I mean, heck, Jaden Daniels won the Heisman after 3-loss season. And it was mainly because at a certain point he couldn't run the ball. He was literally it. Teams figured it out and said, we're going to make you not do it. We're going to stop that interior and make Jaden Daniels beat us by himself. Sometimes it didn't happen. So for Oklahoma, that interior was critical. And then you bring in R. Mason Thomas, who the law firm, as they call him, because of the 3 names, he out here just wrecking shop. My favorite play from him this season, I got to talk about it, has been, if you watch that Auburn game, the last play when he got the safety. So rumor has it the player said that R. Mason walked with them and said, hey, y'all, don't rush. I got this. Okay, cool, whatever. BS, right? Sounds like it.
Right.
Go watch it. Literally, the interior guys walk up and they step back. And Auburn's guys are like, what the hell's going on? What are they doing? What are they doing? What are they doing? Our Mason's bulldog, pow,
one man rush.
One man band.
How about
the
that?
Safety. So that to me is what I expect. As we know, Georgia did it last year. Florida showed us again this year. That blueprint to kind of make that line struggle is right there.
There you go.
I expect Oklahoma to force that interior, especially the way that David Stone's been playing, the former 5-star. That I think somebody said that he wasn't really a 5-star in their eyes. They saw him as a 3-star. Somebody in Texas media, but we won't talk about them at all. But he's starting to bull rush people in the middle, and he's becoming a problem. Dude's jumping. As soon as it's hiked, he's already in the backfield. He's and that's been the problem that Arch has dealt with, is that I think Arch is good. I actually think he's going to be a good quarterback overall. His problem is he ain't got time.
Right.
And he needs that. Like all young quarterbacks need time. That's what they need. This game, he ain't going to have time. Our goal is to be in his throat every single time he hikes it. I want him running for his life. That's my expectation.
There you go. Well, Jay, thanks for joining us, man.
Absolutely, man. Hey,
Thanks, Jay.
BK, appreciate you having
Good
me. Buck,
seeing
good
you.
to see you.
Good
Chris, hey, y'all be good. I'm about to take this
thank
Go ahead, man.
brisket and enjoy myself.
Get you one.
Enjoy Boomer Soda.
Hey, you well, hold
No.
Hold on.
You didn't have to do that on the way out.
We're being nice the entire time. We're giving Jay a platform to talk, and he hits us with that on his way out. What are we doing? Hey, if y'all, you OU fans out there, check out Locked On Sooners. Support Jay. He does a great job covering Oklahoma, and that's the last nice thing I'll say about Oklahoma.
The Bear.
The entire day. Cole Thompson is here. What's up,
The
Cole?
Bear.
Hi, boys.
So we've got some sponsored segments we have to do, gentlemen. So if you want to be a part of these, be our guest. But Bucky and I give an offensive player of the game and a defensive player of the game prediction for Texas every week. Our offensive player of the game prediction brought to you by Moonshine Patio Bar and Grill. We'll tell you a little bit more about them in a moment. But Buck, I'll throw it to you first, starting with the Texas offensive player of the game. Who you got this afternoon?
Well, it only have to be one person. That's got to be Arch Manning. I can't take the entire offensive line. I mean, that wouldn't be fair.
Why would you?
Yeah, why would I?
Yeah,
but,
we're predicting good things here.
Yeah, but I'll say Arch Manning will have to play. He'll have to play above and beyond what he's played so far this season. That includes what last week he needed to play above and beyond, because they will be coming after him on every snap. They want to pile on the not success that he's having right now. So this is the Sooners' opportunity to lay Arch Manning to rest for quite a while. This is how important this game is. He can't come out and not, game starts at 2:30. He can't show up at 4:30. He's got to show up at 2:30.
Right.
He can't show up at 4:30 and then us talk about what a great effort he gave later in the game. Nobody cares about the great effort. If you come to Texas, you're supposed to give a great effort anyway, I would think. When coaches start talking about how brave you are, I'm like, what the hell is that about? What do you mean how brave he is? Been playing college football, and now you're thinking of him as brave because he's getting his brains pounded out and he hadn't quit. Well, I hope he came to Texas not to quit in the first quarter, the fourth quarter, the eighth quarter, overtime. I don't get that. He has to play the best game that he's played so far. I got to pitch. He's got to be the guy.
Well, what's your confidence level that Arch Manning does that today? Uh-oh.
It's not that high. I mean, it's not that high.
Over under 5.
It's about 5.
There you go.
5 out of 10.
It's about 5 out of 10 right now.
5 out of 5.
But
Well,
and it's not because of him. It's not because of him.
Yeah.
It's because of what's around him right now. Because I don't think your offensive line gets any better. I don't think your offensive line gets any better in a week. I mean, that what we saw last week is going to get that significantly better than what we saw last week. It may get a little bit better. He may have 1,001 Mississippi, 1,002 Mississippi. He's got to be gone. But he ain't getting to 1,003 Mississippi. That's not going to happen in this particular game. It wasn't going to happen in this particular game anyway. So he's going to have to do some things where he outthinks guys. He's going to have to throw the ball away when it's supposed to be thrown away. He's going to have to take those deep shots when they're there. And he's going to have to take what they give him. If they give him something that's 5 yards, take it.
Right.
Now, I don't need you taking the tight end for an average of 1 yard to catch. I don't need that, which we saw from this guy that they went and paid a bunch of money from out of Cal. I mean, but I think he has to be the guy. There's nobody else you can depend on right now.
Cole, I'll throw it to you. Follow up on that. What's your confidence level that Arch Manning can show up and put on a show for Texas today?
I got a 7. And the reason why is because this is Red River. This is a game to where you have to be able to show on up and show on out for your fan base. You got to show on out for your public. And you got to show up for your brothers that are out there with you. So I think Arch is going to show on up. He's not my player of the game, though.
Okay.
I go Jack Endries. I think you need to trust the tight end position more than anyone else. Why? Because when you have a security blanket and you are facing the pressure, you got to get the ball out fast. A tight end that is a good receiving threat that can make plays in space, that is what you go look for. Jack Endries, look for him to have a couple of big-time breakaways.
Do you know what he averages? I mean, do you know what he averages? What he averaged last week per catch?
Was it like 6 yards?
No.
No, come on.
He had 2 catches for 2 yards
That's
last week against Florida.
He averaged a yard a catch.
I thought he had 1 catch for 6 yards.
I would love for you to be right. I'm a big Jack Endries
Yeah, I
fan.
am too.
But
I'm still waiting for the breakout game.
Texas has played 5 games this year. Jack Endries has 9 catches for 108 yards.
I'd say he has 9 today.
There you go.
There you go.
I'll sign up for that.
I tried that last week.
I was like, look, he doubles his entire catch radius this game.
I tried that Cole last week. It didn't work. He ended up catching 2 balls for 2 yards.
Yeah, that was Bucky's offensive player of the
Of course
game
it was.
last week.
Okay, but here, the Bears here. So you know what? It's going to hit.
There you go.
Right?
It's going to hit.
I like that. I'm going to go with Emmett Mosley as my prediction.
Good pick.
Came back last week. Missed the first 4 games of the season. Made his debut against Florida. 2 catches for 50 yards. He was open on a few other plays. Should have had a long touchdown. Arch Manning overshot him. He was open on a few other plays where Arch just didn't have time to get him the football. But I think he's a difference maker. The transfer from Stanford, he looked fully healthy to me. And I think that's a good sign for Texas that he's back and the Longhorns have all 4 of their top receivers in this game. because I do think Oklahoma's weakness defensively is their secondary, especially at corner. And I do think Texas has the athletes on the outside to win one-on-one against some of these corners. That's going to be a big key for this game.
Well, the thing you got to remember is that they don't have the freshmen out there in this game like they did against Auburn. But
Right.
Cam Coleman,
Mhm.
you remember that matchup?
Let 'em up.
If you have a quarterback that's actually able to find the receiver in stride, you have 3 touchdowns in that game, and maybe Oklahoma loses to Auburn. But again, it's going to be a different matchup. You're going to see a lot more veteranship on the back end. I think you're going to take away the outside. And you got to work the intermediate part of the field. That's why Jack Hendry's double the touchdown, double the catch radius.
I hope you're right. Our offensive player of the game predictions brought to you by Moonshine Patio Bar and Grill.
Love that moonshine.
This guy loves our takes.
Exactly.
We're getting dapped up for every take that we have up here.
Good job.
That's when you know what you're doing. Or maybe he's had too many beers.
That's
Either
right.
way.
Either way.
Hey,
Or both.
We'll
Or
take
both.
it.
Or both.
Or both.
We'll take it.
Hey, no such thing as
I
too many
say-
beers. It's Texas OU Saturday. Watch the camera. Watch the cameras. All I ask. No, don't cover the camera.
Oh, no.
Who's over here? Who is? Oklahoma? All right. Well, I'm just making sure. Yeah, I know.
Just make sure you turn to the left and say that. There you go.
Yeah, right. Yeah. Why are you telling a bunch of Texas people
There you go.
overrated? Oh, man. Outnumbered here in a sea of crimson and cream. 50-50. All right. Moonshine Patio Bar and Grill, Buck, one of our
love it.
favorite spots back home.
Absolutely. On Sundays, what a place for brunch. No place better in the city of Austin to go over to the Moonshine Patio Bar and Grill. And folks, remember this. I know there's a lot of construction. They've got their own parking lot. So
Yep.
you're going to be able to park down there, down to the convention center area. Make sure mom and dad can show up with the credit card. Take out the whole group for brunch at the Moonshine Patio and Bar.
Oh, yeah. After a Texas win, take them to dinner tonight.
Oh, tonight?
Or a brunch,
to brunch
tomorrow
tomorrow,
morning.
yes.
Why not? Yeah, make sure you grab mom or dad's credit card and they're paying.
Absolutely.
And
Always.
I'll make sure to get back to Austin early tomorrow so I get a
So
free
you can
meal.
join too.
So I
That
get a
free meal.
Wait, are
Yeah.
we taking Buck's credit card? Is
Oh,
that what
no,
we're
no,
doing?
no.
Oh, hang on.
Oh, you don't want my card.
Yeah, that's going to get declined.
Yeah.
We don't want any part of that. Switching over to the defensive side of the ball, guys, our defensive player of the game predictions brought to you by Kenfield Golf Cars. Chris, I'll throw it to you first. This Texas defense, like you were there in the swamp last week, an uncharacteristically bad performance by the Longhorn defense. I think most Texas fans, even Oklahoma fans, still believe that Texas has a good defense, and that was just kind of a random blip what happened 7 days ago. But your thoughts on this Texas defense, and give me a player or two on that side of the ball that you think need to show up for the Horns today.
Yeah, and I think this with Texas too, that maybe the defense is taking a little bit of heat, but when it's really, it can break your will when you're not a balanced football team. You know, the defense is watching the offense and what they've been doing also, and it makes it really, really tough to continue to trot out there and put together the effort and the product we expect them to. But yeah, I'm going to go Michael Taft back into the defense. I know there's obviously some other guys, maybe going to be some popular choices with you boys, but I'll go Michael Taft. Again, John Mateer's a guy. He's a gunslinger. He's a risk taker. He will put it in harm's way. You need a guy like Taft in the back end to take advantage. There's going to be some 50-50 balls in this game. There's going to be some of those down the field, some shots taken. You got to make him pay. So, I mean, the turnovers will play a huge factor, as we know. You know, this is going to be a defensive slugfest, I think, lower scoring. Maybe Bear can talk to you why he thinks both teams are going to score 30+. But, yeah, I think
I'm fading all of you boys.
Yeah,
That's what I'm
the
doing.
opportunities will be limited. Again, I think there will be some shots taken, though. But, again, a guy like Taft could be a difference maker. Veteran guy, leader. He's played in this game, knows what it's all about. Yeah, need a guy like that to step up today.
Buck, what say you?
I'm going to say Ethan Berg, a friend of the shows. We had him on a lot last year. And I got to believe that I've not seen him really have a standout game so far this year. There have been games where he's not even been in the game. This is a kid that they as time went on at the University of Texas, he was going to be not only a fantastic player, but a big-time leader. I mean, I don't see very much leadership. Michael Taft's going to do what he can do. Hard to do a lot of that from where he plays in the back side of it. But for Ethan Burke, that guy can be a difference maker. We saw that in the latter part of last year where he came through in a lot of different games. But I haven't seen him come through in very many games at all this year. And even against the teams that they played against,
right,
it doesn't seem like he's the featured guy out there. And that could be said probably about a number of guys on that defensive line. They haven't had standout players. But this is a game for him. This game will mean a lot to him. I like to see him play, and I like to see him do a lot of things, not only in the passing game when he gets into the quarterback, but in the run game too. Stuff whatever run they have. I know the young man that was beside us tends to think that they're pretty good in the run game later in the nobody gives a rat's ass. I mean, really, against Michigan, who cares? I mean, really, they wanted to run the ball, and they showed they could run the ball against Michigan. Auburn, really?
Right.
I'm looking at those two teams. But no, I think you need to have a guy like Ethan Burke step up today. and become, as I said, the go to the hero. Somebody's going to be a standout player today. I hope it's Ethan Burke.
Only 13 snaps last week for Ethan Burke in the Swamp.
That guy's been around too long to get 13 in that game, that particular game.
There were a couple of true freshmen who got more snaps than he did. So you wonder maybe if something's wrong. I mean, he wasn't on the injury report last week. He wasn't on it this week. So they're telling us he's fully healthy, but that was
there's a lot that's going on behind the scenes here that we're not being privy to, and I understand that's nobody's business, but there's a lot of weird things going on behind the scenes. As I said last week, and Chris, I don't know if you heard me talk about the fact that a running back from the state of Florida didn't even get in the game.
Exactly.
The way they were playing the game last week, the kid that they recruited from Florida, Gibson, never even stepped foot on the field. I thought when I watched the game that maybe he didn't get to run the ball. I was told later he didn't even get in the game.
0 snaps.
0 snaps. I'm like, how do you do that? If you want to go recruit that state and that kid's parents are at the game or grandma came to the game, the way the game's going, you're not even going to let him get in the game so his family can see him. Now, how are you going to go back to that high school? The running back coach has to go back there and start trying to recruit guys, and they're going to look at him and go, really? We want to send our kid to you?
Right.
I mean, there's a lot of weird things that are going on where guys aren't playing. Why aren't they playing? And that's kind of behind-the-scenes stuff that none of us will know about because although BK should be able to have somebody get in on it, but he's let me down too on injuries and not giving me the injury reports that I need.
I let you down all the time, man. And my sources are letting me down.
Yeah, his sources are not being good with him.
It's terrible. Cole,
we're still trying to find out what happened to Emmett Mosley.
He's back. He's healthy. He's back.
Okay,
it's automatic.
Okay, it's automatic now.
I can tell you, I can report that he is back.
Okay, we're done with that.
So one vote for Michael Taft, one vote for Ethan Burke. Cole, which Texas defensive player do you think shows out today?
Easiest pick of the day, it's Anthony Hill.
Yeah.
It has to be Anthony Hill. Bottom line is that Anthony Hill, in my opinion, when he is on point, is the best pure player in the SEC. He is far and away the best off-ball linebacker. He makes plays. Last week, 14 tackles, had a big fumble recovery. He hasn't been able to get his hands on the football just yet. I think personally, if you want to win this football game, if you're Texas, you got to be able to get an interception, and you got to get it in Oklahoma territory. Got to work with short field advantages. That's where a guy like Anthony Hill can disrupt the game. 6'3", great heat-seeking missile, comes on down. And by the way, if John Mateer plays or if Michael Hawkins plays, whoever is the starting quarterback, they both can move.
Yep.
You got to have a spy. You got to have somebody watching every single step that want them to take. If they go to the bathroom, I want to see Anthony Hill lockstep with them, making sure that they're able to go ahead and hold that. I'm sorry, I do.
We
That's
don't
what
need
I'm talking
that.
about.
We don't need to see
You
that.
have got to be able to put yourself in a
business.
position where you have
That's that
Agent
Sooner Magic.
Zero. That is the Sooner Magic.
Yeah, that's what they do.
Agent Zero's got to be making plays. Agent Zero's got to force a fumble or get an interception. I think he does one.
And he's in front of his home crowd. He's here.
Exactly.
Dallas kid. Yep. Anthony Hill last year against Oklahoma, 11 tackles, 3.5 TFLs, 2 sacks. He was a difference maker. He was the best player on the field for either team last year.
He's the best player in the field today, in my opinion.
What is it that's not making these guys tick? Why don't the coaches know they've been around? These guys have been successful players for this particular team, not 3 years ago or 4 years ago, just last year. Why isn't it why aren't they making? Why isn't it? It doesn't seem like Sark or individual coaches can make certain guys tick right now. I don't get that part.
When you guys were talking offensive MVP, that was the direction I would have gone. Is I think you got to start with Steve Sarkisian. I mean, I think if Texas wins this football game today, and again they're going to have to muster up something offensively.
Sure.
I think I'm going to leave the Cotton Bowl saying, man, Sark dialed it up. Like Sark was in his bag today. He found something. Like I think a lot of it falls on him. Right, wrong, or indifferent. So I don't know. I mean, are they pressing a little bit? You just got kind of behind the 8 ball in Columbus. I wasn't surprised what happened at the shoe up there. I mean, tough first game. Arch really his first ever big start.
Right.
New pieces on the O-line, a lot of new faces. Like that didn't shock me, but it's just they've never been able to kind of get off the schneid. And it can obviously snowball on you. They really weren't able to gain the confidence that we thought they needed to gain against the 3 inferior opponents, the inferior competition. And obviously nothing was figured out over the bye week. I don't know. I think there's a little bit of pressing. There's a lot of the external pressure maybe and just a lot of new faces that just haven't panned out.
I guess sometimes
there's a lack of confidence. There's no doubt a lack of confidence.
You go into what you did for the last 2 years. You're playing the semifinals and things are rolling the right way. And, I had said that, this is going to be a different year. I said, you can't, you find lightning in the bottle like you did with Trey Wisner as a running back.
Right.
I mean, for him to have 1,000 yards and with that offensive line you had last year, we complained about the line last year. We didn't think they were very powerful, but they found a way to get a 1,000-yard rusher with that group. And now all of a sudden, where's the lightning in the bottle for some of these other players? I mean, Trey Wisner, he's hurt. So I'm seeing exactly what I expected from a guy with a hamstring. But some of these other guys, Anthony Hill, Simmons, some of these other guys, why aren't you making this thing click with those guys? Those guys, they don't. It's not much that they need. There's something that these guys aren't knowing about them that have got these guys playing that way. It's almost sometimes it seems like the last 3 weeks before Florida, playing to that competition. Are you playing down to the competition? Because that's not what the fans at Texas want to hear, because they've heard it a lot before,
right.
Playing down to the competition. And all of a sudden it was like you got into those 3 games where you could get away with a lot of things that you didn't have to work hard on. And now when you're starting to play back into the SEC, it's like, oh boy, here we go. What do we have to do?
But also, if I can just say, it is the SEC. This is a conference that has so much parity right now when it comes to the top teams. Even if you're into the number 10 team, you can go toe-to-toe with the number 2 team.
Sure,
they
no
have
doubt.
a bad day at the office.
Yeah.
So it's like Florida was able to have a good bye week to where they put themselves in a position and said, what's not working for us? Let's go ahead and actually make those changes. They didn't run the football at all against Miami and LSU with Jaden Bott. They said, let's go pound it down as much as humanly possible, get Texas frustrated, and then we're taking shots on the outside to guys like Vernell Brown and Dallas Wilson.
Yeah.
So that's something that where you got to look at it from Texas perspective today. You know what you're seeing from this defensive line. In my opinion, Oklahoma has far and away the best defensive line in the country and certainly the best defensive line in the SEC. They can get after a quarterback. This is where you have got to go ahead and look at what went wrong last week, and whatever were the major changes you have to make, they better be on display in the first half. Because if you come out very sluggish, it is going to be a long, long, long afternoon.
I agree.
And that's what I'm saying. I don't know. I mean, maybe, again, throw logic out the window for this game, but logically there's just nothing that says that Texas in 7 days span is going to go up against a better defense, the best one they played all season, and the light bulb is going to click.
It's Red
Why
River.
is Arch Manning going to trust his offensive line today?
It's Red River.
Why of all days?
Right.
I mean, I just hope Arch Manning doesn't get killed.
Right?
I hope he makes it out of the game in one piece. Yeah, more than anything.
Yeah, I mean, I said, that's why I chose him as the offensive player, because there's a couple things I think, Chris, that he's going to have to do on his own, some decisions that he's going to have to make. Time-wise, the clock. He's not getting more time to throw the ball, but the decision-making that he has, if he has an opportunity to let it loose, it's got to go. You can't be indecisive in this game and say, you know what, I should have done this. Last series, I should have done that. I need to let the ball go a little bit sooner. All that stuff has to come into play, and it has to happen.
Yeah.
It can't be the thought about on Monday when the pressure comes and, you know, we should have done this, we should have done that. It's just, it has to go today. That's why I'm choosing him. And whether he has help or not, I know you need help. Whether you have help or not, they can still win this game, and he doesn't have to be great, but he can't be what we've seen.
Bucky, you know this position better than anybody else out there. Am I going to see a stat line today that says Arch Manning is the leading rusher?
Yes.
Yeah.
Is he going to have the most carries in this game?
I don't know if he's going to have the most carries, because he's going to be maybe running for his life. And he's going to have they have to have some runs in there for him to run with the ball. But against this defense, if you truly don't want your quarterback to get murdered, you don't have a bunch of runs set up for Arch Manning. You just don't against this defense, because they will kill him.
I can't see a scenario where Texas finds a way to win and he is the leading rusher and your 2 running backs combined have fewer carries than Arch.
I'm only looking for 90 yards total from the running backs. I'm not looking for
crazy.
I mean, just total
90.
That's all.
They had 52 last week, Cole. We're damn near doubling it up if they can get to 90.
If they can get to 90 and they don't turn the ball over and they don't just give the ball to Oklahoma, I think they're in the football game. But I'm not looking for somebody. There's nobody on this team I believe is going to run up with 120 yards, 130 yards in this football game. And if it is, it's going to be Arch Manning.
Yeah.
Right. All right, Chris and Cole, before we let y'all go and bring Zay and Matt back on, we need predictions for today's game. Chris, we'll go to you first. You already hinted towards yours a moment ago, but who you got this afternoon?
Well, and I made this pick earlier in the week on Monday. I did not think John Mateer was going to play, just realistically, the thumb issue and how's he going to grip the football. And, you know, talking to Oklahoma folks and talking to some today, it does sound like he will indeed play. So, I commend the kid. He's a warrior. He's tough. Dr. Shin is the real MVP, I suppose. That surgery just couldn't have went any better, I guess. But even with or without him, I mean, dude, I've just seen nothing from Texas that tells me that offense is going to show up today and do anything. Really, truly. I had a lower scoring game. I've got money on the under. Again, I know this is a game throughout all logic, but logically, I think Arch Manning is going to be. I've seen him in Columbus. I've seen him in the swamp. Maybe I'm the problem. I don't know. I don't know. But he looks very unsettled back there. He looks like a baby deer running around. He doesn't have any help. It's not all on him. I think Arch is going to be a fine player, but I just don't know how, again, in a 7-day span, you're going to go from what we've seen, this offensive product, what we've seen on the line of scrimmage, and go up against maybe the best defensive line in all of college football, maybe the best front seven, and it's just all of a sudden it's going to click. So I got Oklahoma in a low-scoring game, 16-13. I do think it's going to be a four-quarter game. It's going to be a battle. It's going to be a thriller. But, like, I trust Ben Arbuckle in Oklahoma, even if Mateer wasn't playing, to be able to get a little more creative offensively and do some unorthodox things than I trust Steve Sarkisian in that group to figure anything out.
Damn, Chris.
I do. I mean, like, listen, Sark, show me. Get in your bag today. Empty it out. You have nothing to lose, bud. Because if you lose today,
he's got everything to lose.
Go ahead and start planning the beach vacation for December.
Yeah, exactly. You got everything to lose.
I'm, at this point, I live in Nashville. I'm planning on seeing Texas in the freaking Music City Bowl. I'll probably see y'all there.
We'll see you in El Paso.
The Sun Bowl. Place to stay.
Sun Bowl. We'll see you in El Paso.
Come on, you're back.
So anyways,
I love Nashville. I ain't going to that.
On the gambler side, the fact Texas is favored, it really makes me look long and hard at it. But just from what I've seen on the field, and especially if John Mateer plays, low-scoring game, rock fight. This is such a hard game to predict because I do think like turnovers and special teams and something weird's going to dictate it. But I got to go Oklahoma 16-13.
Cole, what say you?
You know how this game goes. I mean, you and I both know what's going to happen today. It is going to be everything that you could imagine, logically speaking, going out the door. Yeah. It is. You're going to see Arch Manning have a day. I have a gut feeling Arch is going to have a day. You know who else is going to have a day? The running back room of Oklahoma is going to have a day. Wow. They're going to find a way to be able to finally get it going on the ground. Jaden Knott's going to have a field day, but we're going to see this be a high-scoring game.
We're going to get some points today.
I think we're getting some points today.
All right.
I got Tate Sandell getting a walk-off field goal, 34-31 Oklahoma.
34-31.
Wow, that's a lot of points, brother.
All right. We got to stop having guests on our show. Everyone's picking OU today. What's going on here?
Again, Texas is still favored.
Yeah.
Why?
Because they're going to win.
Why are they favored?
Walk
me through it. Why is Texas favored? Why should Texas be the favorite to win the game?
Because we're awesome.
Okay.
Why should Texas be the favorite to win the game?
Because we're playing OU? That's why.
We're playing OU.
Is it logo bias? Are people getting lost in the Longhorn?
Because Matthew Caldwell's coming in this game?
I don't.
Is that why?
No, I don't know.
He only comes in for one play, and then he's going to go back to the ball.
Wait, we're not going to see Caleb Williams 2.0 this time around?
No. Yeah.
Come on.
Maybe desperation. Maybe Vegas is buying into the desperation factor, right? How important of a game this is for Texas. They can't afford to lose this game. They need this one.
They need these Texas people spending their money in Vegas, yes.
And I don't know. Maybe that's it. I feel like Texas can win some matchups. Obviously, the matchup everyone's talking about is the Texas O-line against the OU D-line. Am I worried about that? Yes, of course I'm worried about that. That is a glaring weakness. That is by far and away the biggest mismatch between these two teams. But I think Texas has a really talented roster. I think they can, match athletes with Oklahoma. I'm still not sold on Brent Venables as a head coach yet. And I don't know. I just feel like Texas is going to show up today. They didn't show up last week. I feel like they're going to show up today.
The other thing I'll say, too, is I think that Oklahoma, as good as they've been, has not been punched in the mouth like they'll be punched in the mouth today.
Right.
I mean, who have they gone toe-to-toe against? I mean, Michigan.
They trailed for 2 minutes this year.
Auburn sucks.
Right.
I mean, they will. Yeah. Today the men will be separated from the boys. We're going to find out.
Separation Saturday, maybe.
Saturday. Appreciate you guys stopping by.
Thank you, boys. It's good to see you.
Chris and Cole from SEC Unfiltered. Y'all make sure to follow them on YouTube, wherever you get your podcast, social media. They're doing great work covering the entire Southeastern Conference, and they're big parts of what we've got going on here on TSU. Good stuff there. As we get Matt and Zay back over here, we've got there's a little snack for you over there to the right. You see that thing?
I saw that.
You got to get in on that.
I know. I said I would have some of this. Look at that. Nice and cold.
I believe that was the winner of the
I think it was, yes.
Big Tex Choice Award in the sweet category.
This is not counting as ice cream, though, right?
That's sorbet, I believe.
Sorbet?
Yes.
Sorbet? Is that sorbet?
There's no AY in there. It's SORBET. Sorbet.
Oh man.
You guys bay on sports? No, you bet on sports. It's sorbet. Yeah. What are we talking about here? Good to have some.
It's got little salmon eggs in it.
I don't think that's salmon eggs in there. In a bowl of fruit. I'm not quite sure that's what that is.
It is the state fair.
You're right. Anything is possible.
It looks like salmon eggs.
What's your food review of this one, Buck?
I like that a lot. I chose that one. I said that was a good one.
We got fruit in there. We got ice cream in there. What else?
No, it's not ice cream.
Oh,
we don't remember sorbet.
Sorry.
Sorbet.
What else we got?
There's some stuff. There's some I think grapes at the bottom of it. That's a tasty one right there, BK.
Yeah, get back in there. Get back in there.
That one can give you the runs.
But that's not what you want.
I know
You're
you don't
giving it a
want to.
positive food review, and then you're saying it's going to give you the runs?
Yeah, I mean, it's got strawberries in it, but it's really fruity, and it's going to go right through you like crap through a goose.
Like crap through a goose. I love that. All right, by the way, quick shout out to Kenfield Golf Cars. They bring you the defensive player of the game. If you're in the market for a newer pre-owned golf cart, we've got good news. Our friends at Kenfield Golf Cars are right around the corner back in Austin. Founded in 1979, they've got an unparalleled selection of different golf carts available in new or used. They want to turn your golf cart ideas into reality. Check out their website, KenfieldGolfCars.com, for more information, or give them a call at 512-258-8515 for our friends at Kenfield Golf
Absolutely.
Cars. All right, Buck, we'll get to your 3 keys to victory here in a moment, but we've got Zay and Matt. Thank you guys for your patience. Zay, I feel like we barely heard from you today.
It's all good.
Want to get your thoughts on talking a lot about Arch Manning, obviously. And look, he's the most polarizing player in college football right now. Everyone's got some sort of hot take. We had an article that came out last week that said Arch Manning is college football's first flop and that he's synonymous with losing. When people are dancing on his grave right now, and I don't think he's been that bad, but people are absolutely dunking on him and kicking on him while he's down. What are your expectations for Arch Manning today? Do you think he has that performance to silence some of the critics?
Well, I think he showed us some serious toughness last Saturday. That's very promising. But just hearing y'all talking, y'all are absolutely right. This offensive line, they're just so questionable. This defense for Oklahoma, they're just so solid. Our Mason Thomas, you look at Halton, you look at Jackson, they just have so many different guys. Stone's a monster. So if they're in that backfield all game long, Arch is going to have a rough game. Again, that Florida game, he made some throws. He got absolutely clobbered. So, Emmett Mosley, the 5th, he's going to have to be big. Ryan Wingo, Jack Endries, Parker Livingston. And if they could just have a little bit of a run game. I'm not saying much. I'm not looking for Barry Sanders on the field, but just give me a run game where you can get into that RPO, you can get into that play action a little bit. I think Arch will have some success there if the run game is alive, but it's a big if, man. Seriously is.
Texas needs more than 15 rushing yards from its running backs today. Is that what you're saying, Zay? 11 carries for 15 yards.
That help.
That ain't going to get it done today?
No, it's not. And again, if you're the offensive line, you should be really embarrassed from that performance you put on against Florida.
So what can Texas change, right? Because it's the same personnel that's going to be out there on the offensive line. It sounds like Nick Brooks is going to get the start at left guard, which he didn't do anything against Florida. That gives me a whole lot of confidence that that's the right move. But it sounds like he's been working with the ones all week in practice. You've got the same 5. You can't change your offensive line right now. What can you do to offset some of the struggles that you have up front?
Quick screen game, just getting the ball in your hands really fast, trying to get the running backs on the outside, maybe a little more than, in the interior. But I really don't know. Like, I'm hoping that just the pageantry of this game, how it's so unpredictable, could come in the Texas favor. But overall, if we see anything what we saw last week in Gainesville, it might get ugly.
Buck,
I'm hoping that this OU defense gets overhyped. I think they overhyped themselves. That's really about it right now.
They calling themselves the dog pound, Buck. The front line, dog pound.
Woof woof. But I'll just say this:
intimidating bark over there.
Yeah, they just kind of can control a game. And who is number 71? Because I just call him by his number.
That's
now.
Nick Brooks.
Yeah,
that's the guy we're talking about.
That's a problem. That was a problem last week, and we're not even including the fact that we haven't said the P word yet. We haven't.
We're in a public place. Be careful here.
I know that the penalties in a game like this can absolutely kill you.
That P word.
And that P word for this football team when they're playing against players that they're going to be against today, you have some tendencies to grip and grab as they go zipping by you, because these guys can go zipping and by you. If you thought the kids from Florida went by you, today is a day that if you're not in front of the right guy, they're going to go by you, and you're going to take your hand and you're going to reach and you're going to grab, hopefully to protect your quarterback from getting killed. So I'm going with the P word today, and I'm going 6 penalties or less today, BK. I'm saying that. That's going to be very important. If you start to get into the 8 to 10 penalties, I don't know how OU is going to score points, but they may be able to 5-yard penalty here, 15 there, another 15, and get it all the way down to the 1-yard line with Texas. I think the penalties in this game are really, really important. Now, I mean, they can balance themselves out, but I don't expect OU will bring their, they brought their refs to the game against, who was that? Was that against Michigan? Or
Auburn.
Against Auburn, they brought their own officials.
Yeah.
I don't know if their head coaches talked to the officials yet to get them here, but I worry that Texas, no matter what, is going to have a bunch of penalties, but not today. Not today. That's important. That's not even one of my keys because I try to keep the P word out.
They had 6 against Ohio State, and that's their lowest so far this season in 5 games. Of course, they had 10, Matt, last week in the Swamp. Texas bottom 10 in the country in penalties per game and penalty yards per game. This team has been extremely undisciplined, and you're talking about a game that should be close, right? The Vegas line is 1.5 right now. Penalties could be backbreaking. They could be the difference between winning and losing.
Well, I get the penalty numbers, and obviously that's a major factor. They were pretty clean in the first half of that game, which was good, and then it kind of fell off in the second half. Against Houston, they had 5 penalties for 35 yards when the starters were in the game, and then the younger guys came in and they had a bit of an issue. So it kind of feels that they're figuring a few of those things out to a degree. I still think it's a major issue and something that's going to play a big role in this football game, especially when you're starting a true freshman like Nick Brooks at left guard, if that is indeed going to be the case. His first action of his entire career, or real action of his entire career, was against Florida in the Swamp last week.
Disaster.
It was a disaster for the most part. I mean, he did show some things in the second half that were, you can take some good things away from. But overall, he got beat a lot. He was on his, he was bent over a lot, which it's a cardinal sin as a defensive lineman. You can't be leaning forward or they're just going to blow right by you. So he needs to figure those things out. I do think that he is.
Did you say he was bent forward or bent over?
Bent over.
Oh, okay.
Both.
Yeah. Okay.
I do think that he does provide them opportunities to be better in the passing game because he's more athletic and he can move as opposed to a Connor Stroh who's kind of a statue or whoever else they might throw out there. Because he can get to the edge, which a lot of these other guys that they've been putting out there can't do, and he can pull and he can move. So that could be big if he can minimize those penalties and be a little bit more technically sound, not let guys cross his face. I think that he could be okay. Yeah. It's just going to be a lot to ask against what might be the best defensive front in college football.
And the other thing, BK, I got to try to find, and I think Texas has to find a way to get their runners, whoever is running the ball today on the perimeter and out there in space early, because it's not going to be those go inside and then bounce outside kind of deal. It's how quick can you get somebody out there with a little bit of space where they can get an opportunity to go one-on-one for 5 or 6 yards in open space. So I think Sark has to look at just swing screens immediately. Don't get Arch to get him to a point where he can, and he throws a nice ball. He and Quinn Ewers throw, I think, the same type of ball in those little swing screens, hitting the guy in stride where they can run with it. Because I don't think you're just going to take that ball, go off tackle, and run the ball hard, and then some guy bounces outside. I think that's the only way, with the exception of maybe Wingo. Here comes Wingo in motion, hand him the ball and let him run that way.
On a sweep.
Yeah, and doing that early in the game would be good, but still doing it in late, letting him get involved, because I don't know how involved he's going to be in the passing game if he doesn't catch it.
Right. Oh, you've got to find a way to get your ground game going.
Yes.
It's as simple as that. And it's the stat that we've talked about throughout the course of the week. 25 of the last 28 winners of the Texas OU game has been the team that has won the rushing battle.
That's going to be hard today.
So everyone's talking about stats and matchups and keys, this, that, and the other. The biggest key in this game almost every single year is who's better at running the football. On paper, neither team's very good at it, right? I mean, Oklahoma, they are 12th in the SEC in rushing yards per game. I think they're 14th in the SEC in rushing yards per carry this year. That's been a big problem for them, too. And obviously, we saw what Texas did last week. We've talked a lot about their struggles to run the football.
And by the way, is Trey Wisener healthier a week after last week?
Is.
Hey, he wasn't healthier on the injury report this week, which
okay.
Full participant in practice. Like, he's going to be out there. I don't know. I mean, he didn't look very healthy last week.
No, I mean, he wasn't explosive, but now you got another week under your belt of playing against competition like Florida. I mean, if he's not explosive today, then when will he be? Because this is your opportunity now, because been resting since what? Since August.
Yeah, we played August 30th against Ohio State, then had a few weeks off, came back against Florida. And look, there weren't a lot of run lanes. I don't know if there were any run lanes for him to run through, but he didn't show me a whole lot.
No.
And CJ Baxter is not playing in this game today, by the way. He was downgraded from doubtful to out on last night's injury report. I think we've all kind of expected Baxter to not be a go, but there's no more mystery anymore. So it'll be Trey Wisener and then Christian Clark. We didn't see Jarrett Gibson at all against Florida. We didn't see James Simon at all against Florida. Zay, do you think we'll see any of those guys today?
I don't know. I think it depends on their pass protection because I feel like that's what Chad Scott and Steve Sarkisian are really concerned about, especially with Arch Manning and the way that dude just got clobbered. Like the max protection, it has to be money today. And those running backs, if you want to see the field, well, you can't be one-dimensional. You got to be able to pass block too. I hope those guys get some bump today because Trevion Wisner, as good as he was last year, I just don't think he's 100% right now. So going on with that offensive line that's very weak, playing very soft right now, it's just set it up for disaster, man. So I just any type of run game. Anything,
you got to, you know, and it's easy to come up here and say you have to attempt to run the ball. You have to run the ball. No, you don't. You really don't. You don't want to be wasting your time. You're not going to spend your time turning around and handing it off for 1-yard gains in this football game when you need big plays early. So whatever you set up, you need to go look for the explosives as quick as you can get them.
Yeah.
Because I don't think this is a fourth quarter game where you're going to turn around and hand it off to a guy that you expect to rush for 5 and 6 yards.
You're talking about Mike leaching this game?
If you have to,
back and throw it 50 times, maybe run it 10 or 15.
Yeah, I don't care. Whatever it takes to win the game, because your quarterback's going to be involved in the run game because he's going to be running for his life at times today.
Sure.
And we understand that. And he's done a pretty good job. When he takes off and he runs, he's the best runner they have. He's the best running back they have. Yeah. So if that's a part, just count that as part of it. But those set runs where we think in BK, he's got 7 or 8 runs in the game for the quarterback.
Yeah.
Ooh, you're asking for a problem there.
I think it's double-digit carries for Arch Manning today. I wouldn't be surprised if it's 15 carries for Arch Manning today.
Yeah, there you go.
I'm not saying they're all like design quarterback runs.
But he's going to take off and run.
I think that could be Texas's best offense today.
Well, we had Casey Studdard on our show, I think, on Wednesday. And you know, obviously one of the best offensive linemen in the history of Texas, knows a lot about offensive line play. He suggested that, like, they can't get a push up front in the running game. They can't blow people off the ball. So what they need to do is they need to stay on the outside, utilize a lot of zone read stuff for Arch. Get those things to the outside, some quarterback counter, quarterback power. I mean, that's been your best offense, or your best offense on the ground this entire season. So you might as well not try and do anything that you know is not going to work against this front. And let's be brutally honest. When Steve Sarkisian's offenses have faced top-tier defensive lines over the last couple of years, whether it be Georgia, whether it be Ohio State, and now Oklahoma this coming week or today, they haven't been able to run the football no matter what. So it has to be different than what you've been doing in the past. It can't be the same thing. You don't have C.J. Baxter back there to power through and break tackles. And if they had him, maybe it would be a different story because he's a different kind of guy than Trey Wisner is. He's more powerful back. But you can't rely on things today when you know they haven't been working, and they weren't working against San Jose State. They weren't working against UTEP.
And you've only had a week for them to start working that.
Right.
With a bunch of guys playing different positions.
And what Nick Brooks potentially starting at left guard says to me is that they are trying to maximize pass protection rather than the push in the ground game with their offensive line this week. So maybe they throw the ball a lot. Maybe they keep things on the outside a lot because he's the guy that can move to the outside. I'm not sure.
Yeah, I would push back a little bit. Like, I think Oklahoma's defensive line was really good last year. Texas ran it well. I think A&M had a really good defensive line last year. But, yeah, I mean, look, that's last year. You had Kelvin Banks, you had Jake Majors, you had Hayden Connor. You had a different team last year. So this year against, the two really good defensive fronts that Texas has gone up against, they've struggled. And like you said, Matt, they struggled against some non-good defensive fronts that they played this year. So they got to find something that works. I wonder if this is like a, Bam Bam Sam Ehlinger type, where it's like quarterback run that's a huge part of what you're doing today, because that has been the most effective run that you've had this year. Arch Manning has been this team's best running back, and I know you don't want him taking a ton of hits against a defense as physical as this one, but that may be your best opportunity to actually pick up yards on the ground.
Sam Ehlinger had that thick-ass neck that was best work for running the freaking football.
Right?
Arch,
I know.
He's got, good body for a football player, but that's a lot. You talk about 15 carries, man. That's a lot for him.
I think BK's counting those carries where he drops back, and he runs for his life. Those are counted as carries.
That counts.
They saying Arch Manning's got a good body.
Hey, man.
Great neck. What's going on here, man?
Hey, they look at that in the combine.
Yeah, they do. Yeah, I guess they do. All right, we got about a half hour left in our Texas Sports Unfiltered pregame show. By the way, if you're in line for coupons, there's like 500 other coupon stands around the place that are probably shorter than this, but we're also giving away a free pair of Ariat boots. Feel free to sign up for your chance to win. Giving away some Texas Sports Unfiltered koozies as well. Thanks again to all of our great travel partners allowing us to make the trek up from Austin. Really do appreciate our friends at 7-Eleven, Centex Tickets, Austin Duck Adventures, Hay City Store and Ice House, Sleep Cycle Center, and POC Premier Lodge. Also, Buck, some love to our friends at Clean Cause, one of our big pre- and
love
post-game
Clean Cause.
sponsors.
50% of what they sell goes right back into helping drug and alcohol addiction, and they're doing a great job, not only in the state of Texas, but all over the country, and they continue to do it too. And those yerba mate drinks, love those. Love those. I was into those deep and heavy for quite a while. Those drinks, they've got that little kick to them, but it doesn't give you jitters all day long. You'd enjoy them, and they're tasty, but it's what they do for the community. And as I said, if you're helping addiction, whether it be alcohol or drug addiction, and you're giving 50% of your profits away back into it, you're doing some good things. And that's exactly what Clean Cause does.
Absolutely. Love our friends at Clean Cause. So many different flavors to choose from as well. You can pick it up at any grocery store or convenience store all across the Austin area. And they got it here in the Metroplex,
of course,
as well. All right, Buck, how about your 3 keys to victory? And then I want to get everyone's keys to a Texas victory today. But Bucky's 3 keys to victory brought to you by our friends at Sioux Patrick. What do you have for the Horns today?
Well, I think they got to play fast, get off to a quick start. I mean, this is not a sleepwalking game. This is, if you sleepwalk today and you're looking around and trying to find out where mom and dad is sitting, you get slapped in the face. They play to the echo and pass the echo of the whistle in that game. So you've got to be able to get off to a fast start and be excited about playing in this game. You know, I didn't know. I guess Chris was there. He got the vibe of what it was like. You know, it was like Florida was waiting for you to pounce them and pound them in the face. So, you know, this is one of those. This is not going to be that way. Right. Oh, you will be in this game in the fourth quarter. So you need to get off to a fast start and not worry about what's going to happen in the fourth quarter and start to play well. Number 2, you got to protect the ball. You got to win the turnover battle today. I mean, Texas has to have 2 or less today.
Okay.
In this. And you've got to force – if Matera's playing, sorry about that thumb, but you decided to play, I decided to twist that thumb or step on that thumb.
Bottom of a pile?
Or stick my helmet right there where your hand comes down my head. I mean, that's just a part of the game. That's gamesmanship.
There it is.
That's not being cheap. I mean, I'm not into cheap shots, late hits. And in this game, there can be a couple of them.
Sure.
But if you just happen to have your shoulder pad where his hand comes down and that thumb hits it, so be it. It's just football.
Yeah.
So, but you got to protect the ball and you got to win this turnover battle. And number 3, you got to win the explosive play battle today. You do. I think Texas needs to have in the first half at least 3 explosive plays in the first half, BK, in order to be in this game. So that means your quarterback, your wide receivers. If the ball is thrown to you, if it's a little high, you've got to be the guy to make the catch. Wingo has to make catches that normal 6'2" guys make on the sideline that are trying to get to the NFL. They want to play NFL football. He's 6'2", great body. Balls can't hit him when he's just got his hands above his head. They can't go through his hands. He's got to make the plays for the team. And if he gets an opportunity to run with the football, and we're talking about running backs, he can also be one of your best running backs when he touches the ball. So you got. I think you have to win that explosive play battle. But I don't think the explosive plays will come late. They got to come early.
Yeah.
While everybody's moving in one direction, you know, everybody's engine is all fired up and you're running real fast to a spot, you got to go opposite of what they're doing. I don't care if it's a reverse pass. I don't care if you come back with that same double pass you had last week that you didn't hit on. Throw it again this week.
Right.
I mean, it was open.
It was open.
I mean, it was open. So get ready. And your special teams, I didn't put that in, BK, but your special teams got to be solid today. You can't screw this up today and lose because if you're not fielding punts. You know, your punt returner's letting the ball bounce around and you're not fielding the punts and saving yourself some yardage. Will you have a big punt return in this game? Be nice. Will you go block a punt in this game, Texas?
Will I? Oh, Texas?
That would be nice, too.
That would be nice.
But don't get one blocked either.
That happened last week?
Yeah, don't get one blocked today. Your special teams has to be solid in this football game.
Yeah, OU's been solid on special teams, too. They've got a very good kicker, very good punter.
Yes.
Isaiah Satania, as their return man, has been more than solid this season. So, Texas has left a lot to be desired with its special teams play so far this season.
And that's one of the disappointing things. This is a group that I thought they had enough athletes. They recruited enough athletes that their special teams would be special. You know, some of the things that happened last year and the year before when they played in semifinals, some of those things were just inches away from breaking or blocking punts and turning the game over so that you get out of the semifinals and make it to a championship game. Now we're just trying to get to the playoffs. So now your special teams needs to start doing something. They need to wake up. They can't just be there.
It's 2 years in a row where the special teams
is not very special.
It's not very special.
Yeah.
So That was about 6 keys you gave us in your 3 keys.
Sorry
to
about that.
victory. Thank you very
It's
much.
all you.
Yeah, that's fine. Double it up today. Brought to you by our great friends at Sue Patrick. The best selection
Absolutely.
of Texas Longhorn gear that you can find back in Austin is at Sue Patrick, 5222 Burnett Road, or you can shop online at SuePatrick.com. Free shipping on online orders over $59. All the hats, the shirts, the polos, the signs, the accessories, whatever you need, they've got it at Sue Patrick. All right, Matt, what about you? So Bucky gave a few keys. If you want to echo any of those sentiments, or if you've got a few other things that you think the Horns need to do to get a win today.
Yeah, I mean, everything Bucky said, obviously, I agree with. I think all those things are critical. I would just add protect Arch is paramount in this game. You can't let him get pressured 35 times on 42 dropbacks again. You can't let him take 8 hits and get 6 sacked times or sacked 6 times. That would lead to disaster in this football game. He needs to have a clean pocket so that he can throw the football and be able to step up and make some big time throws and hit on the explosive passing game that Bucky talked about. And on the defensive side of the ball, I mean, Oklahoma plays with some wide splits on their offensive front. I think that you have to attack that, rush upfield against them, get Colin Simmons involved in this game early on. Don't drop him back into coverage either. Make him rush the passer. That's what he's good at. That's why he's on the field.
Yeah.
Don't do anything complicated with him. And then Anthony Hill, I think you need to see him be more aggressive as well. I think sending him on some blitzes, getting after John Mateer and getting him off his platform and uncomfortable early in this game will go a long way. And then the last thing I would say is it kind of echoes another one of Bucky's is you got to win the turnover battle. Every year, whoever wins the turnover battle, whether it's 2-1 or 1-0 or 4-0, is typically the winner of this football game. So I think that's probably the most important.
That's key. And going back to your point about protecting Arch Manning, I mean, that's paramount today. And I mean, you have to, again, you can't change your offensive line, but I think you can change the plays that you call. Steve Sarkisian was asked about it earlier this week, and he took all the blame for the lack of quick passing game that we've seen from Texas. He's like, don't blame Arch. Don't blame Arch. Like, I'm the one calling the plays. I'm sending all these guys down the field. He's doing what he's supposed to be doing. Look, you've got to take some deep shots, Zay, but you can't rely on those because you can't consistently, drop Arch Manning back and have him sit in the pocket for 3-4 seconds waiting for those longer developing routes to open up. I just don't think that's going to work against this defense.
Yeah, and I think it could be a really big game for DeAndre Moore, somebody that gets the ball in his hands and can make something happen in the quick game. We haven't really seen DeAndre Moore pop off like we all expected before the season. A lot of that was because concussion protocol and whatnot, but also just the difficulties this offense has as a whole. So, Zero, I expect him to have a big game today. I think he could be the best player on the field. I know some of y'all probably looking at me crazy, but I think he has the right mindset as a leader, somebody who's played in this game. And again, if Steve Sarkisian could get Arch in that mode where he's getting the ball out of his hands quick, I really think DeAndre Moore could benefit from that.
Yeah, I mean, you guys were giving your players of the game earlier.
Yeah.
And I was sitting there listening. DeAndre Moore is my pick.
Yes.
I think he's your best security blanket across the middle. I think that Jack Endries is a good vote for that, but DeAndre and Arch have a chemistry together. I think that they know what the other is thinking, know where they're supposed to be on the field together. He's definitely my impact player in this game for the offense. He needs to have some big plays. He needs to make some secure catches when Arch is getting pressured. So I think that's a great shout.
Yeah, we talk about breaking tendency, right? We haven't seen a lot from the quick passing game for Texas. There's not a lot on film, so it's not like Oklahoma can look and be like, oh, on these short passes, we know they're going here. We know we're going to this guy. It'd be different. It's something I think we should see today, but it's not something that Texas has done a whole lot, so maybe you can catch OU off guard a little bit.
Yeah, and in the SEC championship game last year, Texas was kind of struggling with the passing game a little bit to a certain degree. I mean, Quinn ended up throwing for over 300 yards, but the play that really got them going offensively was a short slant to DeAndre Moore, where he kind of came up and he acted like he was going to block, and then he went on a slant across the middle and went for like 60 yards and a touchdown. Those are the kinds of things I think you need to do with DeAndre Moore today. Quick screens, slants, drag routes, those kinds of things. Get him involved early because he can be a major impact player.
And I think that may be one of Texas's biggest advantages in this game. It's the Longhorn wide receivers going up against the Oklahoma corners.
Those are explosive plays for them.
Yeah, and Oklahoma's corners aren't bad per se, but like their front seven is elite. So I think if they do have a weakness on defense, it is on the outside. And you saw Auburn, when Jackson Arnold had a chance to throw the ball, he got sacked 10 times in that game, so he didn't much. But when he did, his receivers were able to win some of those one-on-ones on the outside. And I think if you're Texas, I know the thought of 4 and 5 wide receiver sets probably scare a lot of people because that's less people to block. but you create more one-on-one matchups on the outside if you have more receivers out there. So take advantage of your running backs aren't very good. Your offensive line isn't very good. Your wide receivers are the best thing that you have on the offensive side of the ball. Take advantage of that against what could be a not so great part of Oklahoma's defense.
Yeah, and a lot of time with DeAndre Moore, he's such a good blocker. They don't have him in that short game when it comes to screens and whatnot.
Yeah.
Emmett Mosley, the fifth, is one of the best blockers on this team already. We haven't seen him much due to injury. Now that he's back and available, get both of those guys in that action. And I'm with Buck. Ryan Wingo, show me something today, man. This could be a game that changes everything for you.
Absolutely.
Like, you're a big-time player. You're supposed to be a big-time player. Show us something. None of these drops. Hell of a post route last week, but it was still a little too late. Ryan Wingo needs to start off early. They could get him involved. Then Texas, they got a good chance.
There's a Pledge walking by right there. You see what he's wearing? Long sleeve button-up shirt. He's got the Wrangler jeans and the boots. He's sweating through the back of the shirt. He looks miserable out here.
Drawers all wet.
Game's an hour and a half away. And
he's already sweating through his underwear.
That guy's
through his
already
through his
done.
pants.
We got an Aggie right here just for the hate watch, man.
Just for the hate watch.
Just
Good
for the
stuff.
hate watch. I respect it.
Hey,
they don't know.
Gig 'em.
They don't know their left from right. Is
you
that
know
a
me. I
thumb
want
down?
you know how I want them going. You know I want those Aggies to be so good.
So, yeah, you want A&M to be 11-0 before the Texas game.
Absolutely.
And have Texas win every year.
Absolutely.
Which I find that weird.
In this game, I don't care what it is. I don't want OU. No, nothing. I don't want them to do anything.
You want OU being 0-12 every year?
Absolutely.
That's good. That's at least you got one rival figured out. I can't figure out why you root for A&M as often as
Part
you do.
Aggie.
Yeah, I did see a Texas Tech fan walking by earlier. That guy just is not smart enough. They can't read. So
He's at the wrong stadium.
Can't
again?
read the GPS. Like, he just totally took a wrong turn, and that's how he ended up here. But yeah, all sorts of random fans out here today, mixed with the burnt orange and the crimson and cream. Guys, I think DJ Campbell. Look, this Texas offensive line. I think DJ Campbell is going to be really important for Texas. All five of those guys are, but this is something we talked about a little bit yesterday. I think if you're Kyle Flood, you have to help Nick Brooks or whoever is at left guard as often as you can. So I think that means you're telling Cole Hudson, hey, man, if they're rushing 4, we got 5 to block, they got 4, you go help out the guy to your left because he ain't very good. He's a freshman tackle who's playing guard in this game against the most athletic defensive line in college football. So help him a little bit. DJ Campbell's going to be in a lot of one-on-one matchups. And if he doesn't win those against 4 really good Oklahoma defensive tackles, then all of a sudden Texas's game plan gets foiled. Arch Manning's running for – that's my biggest concern with Arch. It's not that he's not going to play well today. It's that he doesn't survive today's game. Because I don't expect Texas to run the ball well enough with its running backs, and I'm worried about the offensive line. Like, it was the same conversation that we were having with John Mateer. It's like, there's no way John Mateer can survive this season. He's their leading rusher. He's their leading thrower. He's doing everything for the offense. Guess what? He gets hurt in their first SEC game.
Yeah.
Now, he may be coming back, but like, he's already been hurt one time this year. Texas is starting. I'm worried that Texas is starting to devolve into that where Arch has to do everything. That's scary. He needs some help from the guys around him. DJ Campbell's the elder statesman on this offensive line. He's played in this game a couple of times. He's got more than 40 career starts. He is, I think, the second most important player for the Texas offense today, guys.
No doubt.
Well, he was the number 1 offensive lineman in the country when he came out of high school.
He was.
He has yet to prove that he deserved that title so far in his career. He's been good at points.
Well, he's
been
only a
inconsistent.
senior, Matt, so there's
Yeah.
still
Oh yeah.
This is your opportunity to really make that worth it. You know, this is your opportunity to come out and be the guy that you can rely on on that interior.
Yeah.
And I think that part of the way that they do that is I feel like they've been playing too much towards the scheme on the offensive line rather than playing instinctually and aggressively. Because it's just one of those situations where you have 2 guys coming in, but you're supposed to go this way, so you go this way. They can't let that happen today. They need to be more simplified. They need to be more aggressive, and they just need to play the guy in front of them and make Nick Brooks' life a lot easier by doing that. I think that DJ Campbell being one-on-one a lot against guys like David Stone is going to be huge. And can he prove it? I don't know. This is his chance to be a guy that really makes his name for himself today.
Yeah, have some pride. Show some Texas fight today. I mean, they got manhandled
Also
last
a
week.
DFW kid. All
Yeah,
right.
that's a good point.
And I agree with what Matt's saying, but it's hard to be simple when the defense that you're facing is so complex. They're going to be showing you so many different things. You thought Matt Patricia had Arch's mind racing. Think about what Brent Venables could do with the talent that he has also. So hopefully Arch, Sark, and everybody involved has improved since that Ohio State game. I thought Florida, they just straight up beat you.
They did,
Like nothing was exotic or anything. They were just more man than you were. And that can't happen in this game. I don't think it will. And Texas, they should have a chance if they take that mindset into it.
Well, they better take that mindset or they'll get overwhelmed.
Yeah.
Because if they thought last week was an ass whipping in the trenches, this week will be worse.
Oh, his defensive line is better.
Yeah, I mean, if you're not ready to be physical in this game and you're not ready to be physical for the 4 quarters, and you start out slow and they get on a roll, you think they're going to call off the dogs on this offensive line and feel bad for these guys? Not even close.
Well, Brent Venables has been a part of 49-0 and 34-3.
Yeah.
So if he's got a chance to get a score something close to that, he's going to do it. He's going to do it. There we go. It's the first Boomer Sooner chant we've heard all
From
day.
a guy with no clothes on underneath his stripes. He's just getting out of prison.
Just wearing overalls.
Just getting out of prison.
Just getting out of prison.
Yeah.
And he came here for the first time wearing those prison clothes. He's got cowboy boots, too, underneath those overalls. That's a look right there. It's a classic Oklahoma look. That's their Sunday best right there.
That's good.
That's them dressing up. All right, guys. A quick shout-out to our friends at Gobundance. We do scoreboard updates on our pregame show. So a quick look around some of the other action in college football. Buck, you coached at Illinois once. They're not very good. Halftime in Illinois, number 1 Ohio State 20, Illinois 3. Not the great.
Oh, they're in it
for the Fighting Illini. Yeah, they've got them right where they want them.
They're in it.
Big game in the SEC. Top 15 matchup in Columbia. Number 8 Alabama, number 14 Missouri tied at 17. Early second half action there in Como. We got people cheering, I guess, for Mizzou.
Yeah.
I know Oklahoma fans hate Missouri, but any American hates Alabama. So you're a communist if you like them. Don't stay at a Nick Saban Verbo, by the way. Florida State in trouble against Pitt, 21-21 early in the third quarter. And Ole Miss, number 4 in the country, the highest-ranked SEC team. They're playing Washington State, whatever conference they're in.
Oh, my goodness.
10-7 at halftime. Ole Miss has a lead in Oxford. Matt, you're an Ole Miss
Pac-2.
grad.
It's the Pac-2, right?
It's the Pac-2, which Texas State is going to the Pac-2 next year. Yep. So that's scary for somebody. I'm not really sure who.
I don't like that. This is typical Ole Miss.
Yeah.
You know, you're supposed to come out and beat the crap out of somebody, and
they beat Ole Miss, or excuse me, they beat LSU, and then all of a sudden Wazoo comes to town, and it's a little bit of a struggle.
Typical.
And John Mateer is not quarterbacking Washington State, I believe.
No, he is most definitely not.
No, he is not there. So scoreboard update, those are all of your top 25 games going on in the 11 o'clock window. And, those are the only 2 SEC games going on as well. Shout out to our friends at Gobundance. The scoreboard update powered by Gobundance, where elite men build wealth, brotherhood, and a life without limits. Texas football is built on legends, from Darrell K. Royal setting the standard to Mac Brown. Why is that squeaking so much? Let's turn that down. Maybe better. Maybe
there you go, buddy.
Better. There we go. From TKR setting the standard to Mac Brown bringing home a national title to Vince Young and Colt McCoy leading by example. The Longhorn way is more than talent. It's about discipline, brotherhood, and rising to the occasion. That's the same spirit behind Gobundance, a community of high-achieving men, business pros, investors, and leaders who push each other to win, not just in business, but in life. If you're ready to live like a champion, then Gobundance is your team. Join the tribe today at gobundance.com/TSU. That's GOBUNDANCE.com/TSU. All right, just over 10 minutes to go. Zay, did I go to you for keys to the game? Is there anything you want to add that we have not talked about, what you need to see from the Longhorns? By the way, I just refreshed my ESPN app here. At the start of this show, Texas was a 1.5-point favorite, gentlemen. Right now, just over an hour away from kickoff, Texas is a 2.5-point favorite. So some late money coming in on the Longhorns right now. I don't know if that impacts
all that oil
the way
money starting to roll in, huh?
Y'all feel about
Vegas.
things. But the Sharps putting some money late on Texas. But, Zay, a couple other thoughts for you on today's game.
Forced turnovers, man.
Yeah.
As many as you can. More the merrier. I mean, I think this defense, they have a point to prove with what they showed against Florida. I think they got gutted in a way that they didn't expect to get gutted. And a lot of guys are prideful in that room. Pete Bukowski's prideful in that room. So, just hearing the line that you just threw out, BK, maybe that means Michael Hawkins Jr. is going to play. If that's the case, it should be hell for Michael Hawkins Jr. Again, this whole week for practice shouldn't have been much fun. Everybody should have been in a bad mood. Everybody should have been pissed off. Guys should have been close to almost fighting because of what you put on that performance against Florida. So now when you're in this game and how special it is, hey, all hands on deck, throw the kitchen sink at them, and let's roll. So, yeah, this defense, many turnovers as possible. We see that. Texas should be in good shape.
John Mateer just took the field at the Cotton Bowl. He has a wrap on his right hand. So he is out there right now. He's got that right hand, that surgically repaired right hand wrapped up right now. Again, listed as probable on yesterday's injury report. I think the expectation is that he is going to play, but Oklahoma has obviously been very coy this week. Practicing indoors, you're not getting a whole lot from
They got air conditioning in the indoor facility, though. How about that?
Yeah, apparently.
Last team in the SEC to have air conditioning put in their indoor facility. That's brave.
A little self-deprecation there from OU. How did Vanderbilt get AC in their indoor facility before Oklahoma did? How does Oklahoma? It's hot up there.
Look at
They're
these
very
folks
far
all
away
from Oklahoma.
here.
They have money. They got here. They drove down the highway.
Y'all have air conditioning up
Y'all
there?
got air
right in that
conditioning,
state?
right?
Some of them look like they have no idea what the hell we're talking about. So maybe that invention hasn't made it up to Oklahoma yet. I'm not
Wow,
sure.
that's not right.
But, yeah, obviously OU's been very coy with the way that they've handled this thing. And I don't know if anyone's going to truly know until Oklahoma has the ball first in this football game, whether or not John Mateer is out there. And then you run into a situation where, okay, maybe Michael Hawkins Jr. somehow starts. Is John Mateer going to be used in certain packages, certain situations? Even if Mateer does start, is he going to get every single snap? Are they going to bring in Michael Hawkins? Have they been working both quarterbacks out this week? So it's really fascinating. There's always a million storylines to pay attention to anytime we get to the Red River Shootout. But the fact that we are, again, just over 60 minutes away from kickoff, we think John Mateer is going to play, but we don't really know who's playing quarterback for one of these teams. That is a whole curveball that we're not used to seeing around here.
Boy, that line has moved up. That's crazy.
I think a lot of that Mateer stuff has to do with how he grips the football in warmups.
Yeah.
Right? If he can grip the football well, and if he can throw it with some velocity and some touch and some accuracy in warmups, I think they'll probably give him a go. If not, then maybe they'll put him in some running packages. Maybe they'll switch him in and out. I don't know.
I can see him coming in certain run packages.
Yeah,
I know you're telling everybody what's coming, but who cares?
Yeah.
I will say this, something we have not talked about yet in regards to the Texas defense. Manny Muhammad was listed as probable on Wednesday and Thursday. He was removed from the injury report last night, which means he's good. He's good to go. Manny Muhammad might be the most valuable player on this team, considering how bad Texas's secondary was a week ago without him. Regardless of who is playing quarterback for OU, they've got some weapons on the outside with Satania and Werks. We'll see if Keontez Lewis ends up suiting up. But having your number one cornerback should make life a little bit easier.
Yeah, Isaiah Satania, he claims he's from the ATX. I ain't never seen him around the hood before, so I don't know about all that. I think he's from Fanville. You from Fayetteville, brother. But he can play. I'll give him that. And Manny Muhammad being in the lineup, that's a huge plus for the Horns. I didn't think they would need him as bad as they did last week, but I also think Dallas Wilson caught everybody by surprise, including Steve Sarkisian and Pete Kwiatkowski.
Yeah, they're like, a freshman wide receiver. They're allowed to play those guys.
He ain't gonna do.
We don't do that here.
Yeah,
so, they have freshman wide receivers who play.
Right. So having number 5 back in your lineup, this guy you expect him to play on Sundays, that's huge for everybody's confidence, and hopefully he can perform.
Yeah, it'd be nice.
And as they said, all hands on deck today. Texas has a bunch of receivers that we have not yet seen play, 5-star kids. Let them have an opportunity today. I know. Don't get scared. Don't be afraid to play them in this game. Let them go. It's time. There's been enough games in between here. It's now. If a guy is a 5-star, he should be ready to play 5-star type of football in a game like this. And if they're talented, let them play. Give them an opportunity.
Yeah.
There's too many guys that sit on the bench here that are all these 5-stars that we hear about in Texas in recruiting. Why aren't they playing in these games?
Yeah, the number one recruiting class in America, and you're only seeing a couple of these guys contributing so far. And it'd be one thing if you were 5-0 and everybody was looking great, but you're 3-2 and guys haven't been.
And you're struggling. Yeah,
so I don't quite understand it. Some of these rotations. We talked about Ethan Burke only getting 13 snaps.
What is that about?
I know he's a senior, not a freshman, but it's like this. And then Nick Brooks playing as long as he did. Where's Neto, Ume Ozulu at left guard? Like, there's a lot of just oddities going on.
Like I said, there's some internal stuff that we don't get a chance to know about.
Right.
And that's okay. But on Saturdays, what we like to know is the guys we like to see out there playing.
Just give me the best 11.
Yeah, there you go.
I don't care who it is. Give me the best 11 out there. And there were too many times last week where I don't think Texas had its best players
I would agree.
on the field. So that obviously has to be different for Texas to win this game. All right, 5 minutes left in our pregame show. Again, broadcasting live from the State Fair of Texas. The best day of the year, the 2025 Red River Shootout. This place is starting to fill up. Cannot wait to get inside the walls of the Cotton Bowl to experience the best atmosphere in all of sports. Thanks again to our travel partners, Centex Tickets, POC Premier Lodge, Austin Duck Adventures. Buck, you want to hit him with a
Ride Splash Quack?
Well done there, sir. Sleep Cycle Center, 7-Eleven, and Hayes City Store and Ice House. all of our great travel partners allowing us to be here at the State Fair of Texas, bringing you boots on the ground coverage from Texas OU. Time for us to get to our game score prediction, brought to you by our friends at Paul's Motor Works. If you are looking for a trusty car mechanic in the Austin area, go see our friends at Paul's Motor Works. They've been around since 2000. They specialize in BMW, Mercedes, Audi, Porsche. They can work on any make, any model. Something is wrong with your vehicle, take it to Paul's, 620 and 2222. They will take care of you. From basic oil changes and tire rotations to some serious repairs, nobody does it better than Paul's Motor Works. You can find out more information online at pmwaustin.com. Matt, I will go to you first. Game score prediction. Who wins? What's the final?
Well, first of all, I think I need to take duck hunting with me sometime.
There we go.
Oh, yeah, you got to have that.
That's an
Oh, you got to have that
That's
one.
an impressive duck call right there.
So I've been flip-flopping back and forth on this all week. Originally I thought if John Mateer was going to play that I was going to pick Oklahoma. I just don't know if he's going to be 100% of himself when he is on the field.
Yep.
So I know Texas is favored by Vegas, but I still consider this an upset if Texas wins because Oklahoma's number 6 and Texas is unranked. So I'm picking Texas to pull off the upset. 23-21 Longhorns. Late field goal wins it by Mason Shipley.
23-21. That's not a cover as of right now, sir.
It's not.
Which is crazy that it's not. Zay, what say you? Game score prediction. Who wins? What's the final?
Yeah, very disappointed.
Oh, no.
with my pick. I hate that I have to do this, but I'm tired of this team letting me down. Ohio State, pick Texas. Florida, pick Texas. So here we are. OU, that defense for OU, how bad this offensive line's been for Texas. Dadgummit. I got Oklahoma 17-13.
Come on.
I know.
How can you say that wearing that
I
shirt?
know, man. I don't want to. Prove me wrong.
You got 400 Longhorns on your shirt. You're picking the Longhorns to lose?
Prove me wrong. Please.
Me?
That's all
I don't play.
The team.
The team.
Prove me wrong.
Okay.
Damn it. If they could do that, hey, I admit when I'm wrong. I ain't too proud.
Yep. Bucky, what say
I'm
you?
not very proud, but I'm picking Texas 20-17. I will never pick Oklahoma. And if they had the greatest running back in the history of the game, or quarterback, or offensive line, or coach, which they don't, I wouldn't pick them to win, and I'm not picking them to win today. I'd pick Texas 20-17.
20-17. All right, so a lot of low-scoring predictions here.
Yes.
I woke up this morning, the hotel we're staying at, and woke up, thank God for another day of life.
There you go.
Did my big stretch. Sometimes God doesn't say anything.
Or you don't get an answer? You don't get an answer right away?
Sometimes he talks back.
Ooh.
And he said one word this morning. Over. Take the over.
Take the over?
We're getting points today. That's from God. It's not from me. It's what God said.
What I told him to take the over?
Are you
today?
doubting God?
No, I'm not doubting God.
And he also said,
And he spoke to you. That's the thing. That's the most important thing.
and he also said, take Texas. And he also said, get 6 corn dogs and 6 beers today.
Now you're
There we
talking.
go.
And I was like, that might not be God. I don't know who this is telling me right now. But I'm going with the over today. I think we get points. Ask me why. I don't know. It makes no sense. Both of these defenses are elite. Both of these offenses have struggled. I don't know how healthy John Mateer is. Arch Manning obviously has had his ups and downs this year. And everything leads you to believe that this should be an easy under. And I'm taking Texas. I don't think this is like a crazy shootout. I don't think this is 55-48 or 45-35 or anything like that. But I've got 27-24. Longhorns get the win by 3.
Wow.
And we hit the over 44.5
Nice.
number today. And that's what I'm going with.
I love it.
John Mateer in a splint/wrap out there on.
Hey,
the
can you
field.
tell God to call me up on Sunday?
Yeah, what's
before the
that?
NFL games?
What do you need? Oh, you need some advice?
I need some.
You need
Yeah,
some
I need
picks
some-
for your
If
cousin
he's,
right
if
there?
he's talking to you, I need him to call me up
Hey,
on Monday morning.
he just said over.
Sunday morning. He said over.
That's all he said. Over.
Yeah. Okay.
I was like, hey, I hope he didn't mean Texas's season is
I'm
over.
glad. I'm hoping like your life is over.
I'm hoping he didn't
Yeah.
mean my life is over. Yeah, although if Texas loses today, it might feel that way, We
This
don't
should
want
be
that.
this should be an awful lot of fun. Like you said, this
Yep.
is a great opportunity for the Longhorns, who really aren't playing well. Anything you want to say about Oklahoma, it's easily said about their run game, their offensive line, but they're undefeated. They're number 6 in the nation.
Oh, they've been the better team so
They
far.
are having a fantastic year so far, and for them, they can only hope that things will get better, that their quarterback's hand will be healed up. Nothing happens if he plays today. They continue on. But for the Texas Longhorns, this is a must deal here today.
Yeah.
For them. If I think they have any hopes of, because if they don't win today, guys, they're not running the table into the championship in the SEC if
No,
they don't
they're
win
not.
this game today.
No, they're not. All right,
No.
we're going to do a quick drawing here for the winner of the Ariat boots and denim. Is our guy Mason Gomez here, who's been working hard giving out koozies and raffle tickets. Congrats to Felix.
Nice job, Felix.
Can't imagine Felix is here, but we've got the number. So
we got your number, Felix.
That's a 512 area code. That's somebody we
Very
trust.
nice.
That's a Texas fan right there. We appreciate that. All right, that's going to do it for our TSU pregame show. Thanks again to all of our great travel partners and all of our great sponsors here on Texas Sports Unfiltered. What a fun show. A lot of great guests
Absolutely.
joining us today. Chris and Cole from SEC Unfiltered. We had Jay Smith from Locked On Sooners coming on. Zay Collier, Matt Gallatin, Bucky Godbold. Shout out to Mason Gomez. Shout out to Adam Wagner running the app back in Austin. I am BK Brad Kellner. That's going to do it for us today. Y'all enjoy the game and the rest of the weekend. And hook 'em.